Welcome to creating secure login and registration system with email activation using PHP. Now let's see what we are going to build in this course. So this will be our website. You can see we got couple of movies and some information about these movies, and all of the information that is showing right now on the screen is completely public. Anyone could see this information, but after every single movie we got this button of watch trailer now. So if I click on this button now, you can see I'm being asked to log in. Why? Because only registered user could see the trailers of upcoming movies. I can also log in from here. I got this tab right here, and right now I don't have any account, so I have to create one. I got this text right here, so I'm gonna click on this text. Don't have an account, so now I'm gonna give my information to register. So giving my information Jazib Akram and my email jazibakram@gmail.com. And if I give in my first password field 12345 and in the second I give 1234789, click on this register button. Now you can see I got this pop-up message that both password values must be same. So we are going to apply these type of validation checks so that we could only get correct information from the user. So giving my correct information, Jazib Akram, email to be jazibakram@gmail.com, password to be 12345, same. Click on this register button. It's processing. Now I'm being redirected to login page, and I got this successful green message that check your email account for activation. So now before confirming my email, if I try to log in now using my correct information, login, you can see I got this error message that account confirmation required. So here is my Gmail account. You can see I got this email of confirm account. Hi Jazib Akram, here is the link to activate your account. So if I click on this link, I got this success message that account activated successfully, and I'm on my login page. So now if I log in with the correct email but with the wrong password and try to log in now, you can see I got this invalid email and password error message. So if I give my correct email and password to be correct 12345, and let's not click on this remember me feature for now and click on this login, you can see I got this success pop-up that I'm logged in. And also this button of login has been changed into logout, and I can click on these watch trailer now to watch the movie's trailer whatever I want. I can go back and watch some other movie trailer as well. I can go back and access all the public and private pages of this website because I'm still logged in. And if I close this browser window from here and open my browser again and try to visit my website again and click on these watch trailer now, you can see I got this login button. It means that I'm not logged in. Click on this watch trailer now, I'm getting this message of login required. So giving my email and password correct one, and also let's see this remember me feature. So clicking this one as well, click on login. I got this success message, logout button has been established. I can watch the trailer of these movies, and let's close the browser window again. And if I visit my website again, you can see I'm still logged in because I take the remember me feature. So let's log out now. I'm logged out, and this button has been changed to login. So clicking on this login, suppose that I forgot my password. So I got this option right here, forgot password. So I'm gonna click on this forgot password. It's asking me to give my email. So in case if I give some wrong email like jazibakram123@gmail.com, click on submit. You can see we got this error message, email not found, because there is no such email registered on our website. So now let's give correct email to reset our password with email. So already remember login. Click on this forgot password option. Now giving my correct email jazibakram@gmail.com. Submit. I can also go back. Click on submit now. It's processing. You can see I got this success message. Check email for resetting password, and I'm on my login now page. And in my email account, you can see I got this email that reset password. Here is the link to reset your password, Jazib Akram. So clicking on this link, you can see I am on the page where I can easily reset my password. So giving my new password 123456 123456789, wrong password, both field. Click on submit. You can see I got both password values must be same, and I'm still on that page where I can reset my password. And if I try to submit with empty field, I'm getting this pop-up. So these type of validation we are going to apply on our every single field in this project. So giving my 123456 new password, click on submit. You can see password changed successfully. Login now. So entering my correct email and correct password that I just changed 123456. Clicking on remember me feature, login. Can see successful login, and I got this message, and the login button has been changed to log out now. I can watch any of the movie which I want. I can browse full website, all the registered pages and the public pages as well. No problem at all, and I can easily log out whenever I want. So in case if the user try to cheat us, like if he copy the link of our registered user page or bookmark it and then log out, and after logging out, if he try to reach back to that page without logging in, then he will be able to see this error message, login required. So there will be no way the user is going to enter into our private pages without logging in. And one more thing I want to show you, and that is if I try to log in and say that I don't have an account and try to register from the email that is already registered with our website, click on this register button, and I'm getting this error message that email is already in use. So one email cannot be registered twice on our website. So we will add many things like this in this course. So this is the system that we are going to build in this course, and you will learn many tips and tricks in this project. In this course, you are going to learn about many things. First, I will show you how you can still protect your user credentials even if the security of your website got compromised. We will learn about password encryption, and then I will teach you about many hashing algorithms. And at last we are going to pick one hashing algorithm and we are going to implement it in our project. And in our project we will code registration and login system completely. So first on our website the user is going to enter his information, and then we are going to send him one email that will ask him to confirm his email account like the Facebook and many big websites. And later, in case if the user forgot his password, we will add password reset feature that will allow user to reset his password using registered email. This project will be very easy, and I will show you each and every step in complete details. And the great thing about our project is you can implement it on any of the website out there on the internet. And I will show you how you can do that. My name is Jazib Akram, and I will see you inside. Welcome to creating secure login and registration system with email activation using PHP. Before we start, let me tell you about myself. I'm Jazib Akram. I'm teaching and helping thousands of students online, and I'll be your instructor throughout this course. In this course, you are going to learn about many things. First, I will show you how you can still protect your user credentials even if the security of your website got compromised. We will learn about password encryption, and then I will teach you about many hashing algorithms. And at last we are going to pick one hashing algorithm and we are going to implement it in our project. And in our project we will code registration and login system completely. So first on our website the user is going to enter his information, and then we are going to send him one email that will ask him to confirm his email account, like the Facebook and many big websites. And later, in case if the user forgot his password, we will add password reset feature that will allow user to reset his password using registered email. This project will be very easy and I will show you each and every step in complete details. And the great thing about our project is you can implement it on any of the website out there on the internet. And I will show you how you can do that. Now let's see what we are going to build in this course. So this will be our website. You can see we got couple of movies and some information about these movies. And all of the information that is showing right now on the screen is completely public. Anyone could see this information, but after every single movie we got this button of watch trailer now. So if I click on this button now, you can see I'm being asked to log in. Why? Because only registered user could see the trailers of upcoming movies. I can also log in from here. I got this tab right here, and right now I don't have any account, so I have to create one. I got this text right here, so I'm gonna click on this text. Don't have an account, so now I'm gonna give my information to register. So giving my information Jazib Akram and my email jazibakram@gmail.com. And if I give in my first password field 12345 and in the second I give 1234789, click on this register button. Now you can see I got this pop-up message that both password values must be same. So we are going to apply these type of validation checks so that we could only get correct information from the user. So giving my correct information, Jazib Akram, email to be jazibakram@gmail.com, password to be 12345, same. Click on this register button. It's processing. Now I'm being redirected to login page and I got this successful green message that check your email account for activation. So now before confirming my email, if I try to log in now using my correct information, login, you can see I got this error message that account confirmation required. So here is my Gmail account. You can see I got this email of confirm account. Hi Jazib Akram, here is the link to activate your account. So if I click on this link, I got this success message that account activated successfully and I'm on my login page. So now if I log in with the correct email but with the wrong password and try to log in now, you can see I got this invalid email and password error message. So if I give my correct email and password to be correct 12345, and let's not click on this remember me feature for now and click on this login, you can see I got this success pop-up that I'm logged in. And also this button of login has been changed into logout, and I can click on these watch trailer now to watch the movie's trailer whatever I want. I can go back and watch some other movie trailer as well. I can go back and access all the public and private pages of this website because I'm still logged in. And if I close this browser window from here and open my browser again and try to visit my website again and click on these watch trailer now, you can see I got this login button. It means that I'm not logged in. Click on this watch trailer now, I'm getting this message of login required. So giving my email and password correct one, and also let's see this remember me feature. So clicking this one as well, click on login. I got this success message, logout button has been established. I can watch the trailer of these movies, and let's close the browser window again. And if I visit my website again, you can see I'm still logged in because I take the remember me feature. So let's log out now. I'm logged out, and this button has been changed to login. So clicking on this login, suppose that I forgot my password. So I got this option right here, forgot password. So I'm gonna click on this forgot password. It's asking me to give my email. So in case if I give some wrong email like jazibakram123@gmail.com, click on submit. You can see we got this error message, email not found, because there is no such email registered on our website. So now let's give correct email to reset our password with email. So already a member login. Click on this forgot password option. Now giving my correct email jazibakram@gmail.com. Submit. I can also go back. Click on submit now. It's processing. You can see I got this success message. Check email for resetting password, and I'm on my login now page. And in my email account, you can see I got this email that reset password. Here is the link to reset your password, Jazib So clicking on this link, you can see I am on the page where I can easily reset my password. So giving my new password, 123456, 123456789, wrong password, both field. Click on submit. You can see I got both password values must be same, and I'm still on that page where I can reset my password. And if I try to submit with empty field, I'm getting this pop-up. So these type of validation we are going to apply on our every single field in this project. So giving my 123456 new password, click on submit. You can see password changed successfully. Login now. So entering my correct email and correct password that I just changed, 123456. Clicking on remember me feature, login. Can see successful login, and I got this message, and the login button has been changed to log out now. I can watch any of the movie which I want. I can browse full website, all the registered pages and the public pages as well. No problem at all, and I can easily log out whenever I want. So in case if the user try to cheat us, like if he copy the link of our registered user page or bookmark it and then log out, and after logging out, if he try to reach back to that page without logging in, then he will be able to see this error message, login required. So there will be no way the user is going to enter into our private pages without logging in. And one more thing I want to show you, and that is if I try to log in and say that I don't have an account and try to register from the email that is already registered with our website, click on this register button, and I'm getting this error message that email is already in use. So one email cannot be registered twice on our website. So we will add many things like this in this course. So this is the system that we are going to build in this course, and you will learn many tips and tricks in this project. Hi, my name is Jazib Akram, and I'll be your instructor throughout this course. In the first part, we will learn about password encryption and how to encrypt our plain password in an encrypted form. But before going to that level, we need to understand the need of password encryption. Why should I apply password encryption on user passwords when I simply can save the user passwords in my database in a plain text form? Well, there are a couple of reasons. So here is the demo. Suppose you have a website and it's very large, you have thousands of registered users, and somehow some hacker got access to your database and have the access to user passwords, all his information and interest. So his privacy will be at stake. And as an admin of that website, you don't want to put your user in some place like this. So even though my website got damaged by a hacker, I don't want my user to suffer the same. So this is the part where password encryption comes. So we convert password means encrypt them so that if the hacker get access, he won't be able to get the simple password of our users. Why? Because most people use same type of password in every site. It's just a guess that 99.9 people are not from the IT industry. They don't know about these security measures. So they use same type of password in every single website. So in case if your site got hacked and hacker get user passwords, then you don't want him to destroy your user life by hacking all of his accounts, his bank account, his Facebook account, his LinkedIn account, by just getting his password at your site. So don't save password in form of plain text in a database as a developer. Always encrypt them. So instead of saving password in a plain text, we encrypt them by using hash. Now what is hash? Actually, hash is a type of algorithm that can be applied to any simple string to generate encrypted string. Suppose we have a string of Pakistan, and if we hash that string, then it will be converted like this. So by reading $1 AK2.jz so on, you won't understand what does this hash means. So using this hash, in case your database got hacked, the hacker won't be able to get the passwords of your users because he cannot understand this encrypted form, and it will take years to encrypt this hashed code that we are going to develop. But we need to understand how this hash works. First of all, consider registration form on your website. So a user just enter password string of Pakistan on your website for choosing his password, and you encrypt user password in hash format like this. Then you store this encrypted user password in your database and your process of registration will be completed. Now let's see the login process. So now the user came back at your site to log in to his account and he typed his password of Pakistan. Then you are going to take that user password of Pakistan and will match it with the encrypted password stored in your database. So if the match will found, you will give access to the user area to your user, and if the match not found, you will deny his access. So if your database got hacked and hacker has full access on your database, he will apply some attacks. And the most common attacks are dictionary attack and brute force attack. In the dictionary attack, hacker just apply some common word in your password field like apple, blueberry, banana, and the common words of our daily life. Then there is brute force attack, in which hacker apply the combination of characters to get access to your account. Then there are lookup tables that a hacker already made, and he just match the encrypted form with your lookup tables and try to understand the pattern. And then there are rainbow tables that also give hacker an idea to track down your password. So even if you encrypt your password using the hash algorithm, your security might be at risk. But if you add a salt, actually a salt is a string that combined with hashed algorithm to add an extra layer of security at your password. So if I have a password of hello, then there will be some string like QXLUF, something like that. And I'm going to add that string with the hashing algorithm. So if I have a password of hello and I want to encrypt it, then I can simply add that salt, means that string of QXLUF so on, with the hashing algorithm. So by adding salt, any type of string with the hashing algorithm, it will be impossible for hacker to break the combination of my password, even though he used rainbow tables, lookup tables, and whatever technique he wants. So if I add just 3 characters with hashing algorithm, means if I add salt of 3 characters, nonetheless hacker have to create 8500 password combination. And in case if that a single combination take 1 MB, then it will be total of 837 GB, and the 1000 GB byte easily be purchased in the range of $100. It's still in the range. But when we add the login time with the hash algorithm, means a time that will be needed by our algorithm to run the username and password of user when he try to sign in. Suppose we add a sign in time of 5 seconds, so it will take 8.1 years a hacker to encrypt our single password, and no one want that. And normally instead of adding 3 character salt, we add 22 character salt. Now you can do the math. It will take many years to encrypt one password by using salt and hashing algorithm. Now there are a couple of hashing algorithms that are very famous in market. First one is MD5, then we have SHA1, then we have SHA2. It has further 2 versions, SHA2, SHA256, and SHA512. Then we have AES, then Whirlpool, then Tiger, and then we have Blowfish. Now in all of these algorithms, Blowfish is one of the strongest algorithm, and many organizations and government agencies use this algorithm. There are a couple of reasons why it's the favorite. First one is it's very secure, second one is it's free to use, and third one is it's slow. Now maybe you are wondering that if the algorithm is slow, how can it's favorite? Now the answer is, using this slow functionality, you can limit the login time to 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or maybe 10 seconds. So in case of single login request, it won't be a problem. But for hacker, for running thousands of requests, it will be a problem. That's why Blowfish is favorite. So as I told you earlier that we add salt to secure our password more. So we take user password, we use hashing algorithm of Blowfish and salt string and made a password. But if you want to make it more secure, instead of adding one simple string every time, you choose a random string every single time for your every single password. That will going to make your password more secure on earth. So here is this hacker. He's very happy. Why? Because he just hacked our whole database, and he is thinking that I'm going to get the information of every single user of the site. So maybe he is thinking that I'm gonna hit a gym in the evening, buy some drinks, and gonna get laid at night. But that ain't going to happen. Now he looks sad. Why? Because when he see the structure of our website, our hacked database, we applied very secure algorithm using Blowfish and random salt, and we made our user password impossible to break. So I'm gonna say to this hacker, maybe next time. See you around, Paul. So don't take shortcuts, always apply encryption on your passwords. Now in the next lecture, we are going to see how you can encrypt your password using salt and Blowfish algorithm. So first of all, I'm going to run my XAMPP control panel and my Apache server and my MySQL server as well. Now inside my C drive, I have this folder of XAMPP, in which I have the folder of htdocs, in which I made this folder of PHP course. And in here, I'm going to create a new folder with the name of user underscore registration, in which we are going to put all of our project file. Now here I have added this simple.php file. Let me show you this file, what we have in this file. So I'm going to open this file in my Komodo. Now here is my simple.php file, nothing special here. So first of all, I'm going to show you the hashing basics. So I'm going to save this file as hashingbasics.php. Okay. So I already have this PHP scope. So in this PHP scope, first of all, I'm going to add a variable of password, and I'm gonna equal this variable with one string of Pakistan. So this Pakistan will be our password. And on the next line, I'm going to create one new variable of blowfish that will hold the structure of our algorithm. So I'm gonna call it blowfish underscore hash underscore format. And the blowfish format is $2y $10 and then dollar at the end. So this 2y means the blowfish. I'm going to call my blowfish algorithm, and this 10 is the cost of our algorithm. How long I want my login request to take time. So if you want to take longer time, you can increase this 10 to be 12 and increase it more if you want. And on the next line, I'm going to create a simple salt, and I'm gonna give it a string value of my name is Jazib Akram King. So its length is 22. So first of all, let's use this echo command to see its length. Length of our salt using the length function of string. Okay, everything is good to go. Let's save this, and we have this file of hashing basics that is inside my PHP course user registration. So inside my PHP course, I have this folder of user registration, in which I have this file that I just made, hashingbasics.php. So browsing this file, now you can see the length of our sort that we just echoed out. So here is our algorithm of blowfish. Here is my sort. Now on the next line, just after this echo, I'm going to concatenate my sort with this blowfish algorithm by defining here a third variable with the name of formatting blowfish with salt. And now in this variable, I'm gonna concatenate this variable of blowfish hash format with this salt by using this dot to concatenate these two variables. Okay, so on the next line, I'm going to encrypt this formatted blowfish with salt with our original password. So I'm gonna add here a new variable of hash, and I'm gonna equal it with our crypt function that will take two arguments. One will be our password. So I'm gonna add the password as a first parameter of this encrypt function, and in the next parameter I'm going to add this formatting blowfish with salt algorithm right here and semicolon at the end. Now our part has been done. Now on the next line, let's echo this salt that we just created. Let's add the br tag here so that you can see it on the next line. Looks good. Saving this one out, refreshing the page. Now we got hash. Now here is the format of our blowfish algorithm. Then we have our string, and then we have our encrypt function that we applied on our password. So we created our hash by using blowfish algorithm. So if we decrease the sort length, let's make it to just my name is Jazib Akram. Saving this one out, refreshing the page. Now you can see we got the length of 18. Also our hashing algorithm don't output anything. Why? Because this is the basic and big advantage of blowfish, that it start work when we add the salt of at least 22. So if I made it again to be length of 22 and refresh the page, now we got our encrypted form. So you can increase the salt length up to whatever length you want. I can add a more length to be this simple. I can make it to any string more than 22. Saving this one out, refreshing the page. Now you can see we got completely different algorithm string right here. So it means that if we change the salt, we also going to have the different hash. So it's better to choose the random salt whenever we have to create hash for our every single algorithm. So if I add a new variable of password right here, I can make it to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and if I repeat the same process again for the different password and change the string, let's leave the string as it is. Now saving this one out, and if I refresh this page again, now you can see for the different password we got the different hash. So right after this kind we have totally different hash. And if I change the salt string to be something like my name is Jazib Akram 1 2 3 4 5, saving this one out, refreshing the page, we also changed our sort string and also our hash format. And you can also notice that our sort is also different here. Instead of having the king here, it changed it to kind, and instead of having 1 2 3 4, we are getting here 1 2 3 u and something like that. So it means that you can change the password. So with the same string or with the different string, you will have the different type of hash for your password. So it is a good technique to use the random sort whenever you have to create the hash for every single user password. So I thought that it would be great if I show you how you can increase the processing time of your algorithm by changing its cost. Now we got the cost of 10, so if I make it to 12, then you can see that let's refresh the page. It took just 1.5 second or something like that. So if I change the cost to 15, saving this one out, refreshing our page again, now you can see it's taking too much time and it almost got 4 to 5 seconds. So if I change it to 20, saving this one out, refreshing the page, now it's taking too much time because we increase the cost. 13 second, 15, still spinning, still spinning. Now it's almost took 1 minute and 30 seconds to reach at this point, and my processor worked very hard. Now you can see we got this fatal error that maximum execution time of 30 seconds exceeded. That's why we got this error. So you can think instead of putting some more value, we have to make it more considerable because we are not creating it for the longer period. We are just creating it to spend some time on our algorithm. So I think 10 or maybe 12 cost time will be enough. So now you can think that if we add 12 cost here, then for one type of user it won't be a problem. But when the hacker is running his code to decrypt our algorithm, it will be a problem for him. So using this cost, you can put all the headache on your hacker. Not your hacker, but on the intervener. Now in the folder of hashing basics, I'm going to create here a folder with the name of include, in which I'm going to add a simple PHP file, and I'm gonna name it to functions. .php. Now let's open this functions.php file in our editor. So here I have the function.php file. So first of all, let's add the PHP scope in this file. So first of all, I'm going to add here a password encryption function that we just saw. So this is the function. I made it password encryption because we are going to use this function for the many time in our registration purpose. So it's better to make a function. So same string of blowfish right here, 2 by $10. Then we have the salt length. Then we are just generating our salt by calling this function that we don't have at the moment. And then we are just repeating our hash and returning our hash after encrypting our password with the formatting blowfish with salt. Now here we have this generate salt function. As I told you, it's better to generate salt for every time whenever you have to hash your password. So here is the code for generating random salt. You can see I'm choosing the random string using the MD5 function that is also an algorithm, and using this empty rand function, and I'm just passing this true function to make it more secure. Then I'm choosing one more string with the base 64 encoding using this function, and in case if we got the plus, I'm replacing it with the dot using str replace function on this base 64 string. Then I'm just using this sub str function to replace in case we got the negative number at the beginning. And at last I'm returning salt, and this salt is going to come at this position using this function called of generate salt. So this is all the code to create a very secure random string. If you want, then use it. If you don't want, then just skip all of these lines. So if you don't want to use this code, just use this base 64 encode and return it to salt, whatever you want. Now these two functions will be used to generate our encryption, and in case if you want to check whether user entered a password is equal to your existing hash that you stored in your database, you can simply use this function of password check that will add the user password that user going to enter in your form field. This function of password check will make sure that it will whether it is equal to your existing hash that you created using these two functions. So this password check will going to take this user password and will match it with existing hash, and in case if the hash is equal to existing hash, it will return true, otherwise false. So now we finally know how to encrypt our passwords. Now it's time we should move to our project. So I have this simple.php file, and I'm gonna save this file as user underscore registration.php. Now let's also change its name to be register now. So in the HTML section, I'm going to add a simple HTML form right here. And in the action attribute, I'm going to mention the same action attribute of user underscore registration.php here. Why? Because we are going to add the PHP code in the same file of this user registration.php. Now saving this one out, and let's make it method to be post. Now we need some style on this user registration.php. So in my include folder, I'm going to add here a new file with the name of styles.css, and this file will include all the style of our project. Now let's also open this file in our Komodo, adding the tag of style CSS, so that in case you want to swap the style in this file, you can do that easily. Now we need to connect this style.css file with this one. So before anything, I'm going to require this file. So using this require function, require once, we are going to connect this file with this user registration.php, and this file is in my include folder, and its name is styles.css. dot css. Now saving this one out. Now I'm going to add some style on these fields. These fields has type of text, email, password and submit button. So first let's add the style on this type text, email and password. So here is some styles that I'm gonna paste. Now saving this one out. If we browse our file, you can see we have this user registration.php file. Click on this file. Now if I refresh this page again, now you can see we got these very cool fields. Now let's also style this one, and this input field has the type of submit. So I'm gonna add some style on this type of submit. So if I add some style on this type of submit, saving this one out, if I refresh this page again, now you can see we got the register button right here. Let's make it to float at the right position, and let's also give it some margin from top. Now refreshing the page, it looked great. So one more thing to do here, and that is to enclose this whole form inside one div so that we can place this div in the center of our page. So now adding the default style for this div, let's give it some ID to be center page. Now adding the style for this div. Now I gave this width, and I gave this div some width and margin to be 0 auto, means center. Now refreshing the page, now we got this in the center. Now one more thing to do, I'm gonna add some style on this username. So first of all, I'm gonna define a new class of field info right here, and now I'm going to place this class of field info in which I have added some color, font size and font family. Now I'm going to add this class on these user registration by using span tag. Now you can see I have added this span of class field info inside my username text, my email, password and confirm password. So if I save this one out and refresh my page again, now you can see we got these cool styles. So I think it would be great if I add some more margin to this submit button. So we have this margin top to 5. Let's make it to 10. Refreshing the page. It's look great. Now our UI part of this register now page is complete. So we are good to go, but before going any further, I think it would be best if we create our database. So we have to go to our PHP myadmin, and I'm going to create here a new database with the name of registration underscore system, and all these letters are lowercase. Create database. Now we have this registration underscore system database right here. Now in which we are going to add one table with the name of admin underscore panel, and first of all I want first column to be ID, second one will be our username, third will be email, then we have password and confirm password. We don't need it because we are just going to rematch these two values. So until now we need just 4 columns in our database. We will add more column later if we want. So click on this go button. Now we got our database. So first one I'm gonna call it ID, second one will be username, in the lower form third one will be email, fourth one will be our password. ID will be in the int form, username will be in varchar, email also varchar, password will also be varchar. And for ID I'm gonna give it length of 10, and also the auto increment For the username, let's give it length of 30. For email, let's give it length of 70. For password, let's give it length of 130. Why? Because we are going to add the encrypted form, so it's better if we add a wide range of length on our password. And all of these fields has the lowercase letter. Click on this save button. Now our table of admin underscore panel has been created. Now we need to connect this table of admin underscore panel with this register now file. So in my editor, inside my include folder, I'm going to add here a new PHP file with the name of db.php. Saving this one out. Now let's open this db.php file in our editor. So here we got our db.php file. First of all, we need PHP scope in this file, and on the next phase we have to establish our connection in our this db.php file. So I'm gonna add here a new variable with the name of connection, and I'm going to equal it with our MySQL underscore connect function. And first parameter, I have to mention the server, and we are using our local host, and our username of this server will be root, and there is no password. So in the third parameter, I'm going to leave the string to be empty. Now on the next line, I'm going to add one more variable with the name of connecting our database, connecting DB. So now I have to select my database. So by using MySQL underscore select underscore DB function, I'm gonna select my database, and my database that I made just has the name of registration underscore system. So we need to add this one right here, and in the next parameter we have to add this MySQL connect. As we added this connection, so we just can copy this one from here and we can paste it in the next parameter. We are good to go. Now as our database connection has been established, we also have to connect this file of db.php with this user underscore registration.php. We don't need this style.css file anymore. So let's close this one. And in my user underscore registration file, I'm just going to connect my this db.php file that is in my inside include folder with the name of db.php. Saving this one out, refreshing the page. Now there is no error. Now in the next lecture we will add our PHP around these fields. So see you there. So we have to apply the PHP on this submit button, because when the user is going to enter all these values, we have to do the right thing when he click on this submit button. So let's make it value to be register, and this one has the name of submit. So we need to use this submit one right in our PHP scope. So here I got my PHP scope, and I'm going to put this PHP scope before any HTML right here, and in which I'm gonna say that if this submit button that has the name of submit is set, means if a user click on this submit button, then what should you do? You have to process these PHP code that we are going to write. So we need to add the if condition here, and I'm gonna say if is set using the super global of post. If this set, this submit button that has the name of submit, then you should take username, email, password and confirm password field by using super global post variable. So I'm gonna add couple of variable right here with the name of username, password, email, and confirm password. Let's rearrange them. And we need to equal these variables with our super global of post that going to help us to get our values from the user. So now I'm gonna change it for the username, same that we have right here. Then we have to change it for email with the capital E. Then for password, and then we got this confirm password field with the name of confirm password. And as you know that it might happen sometimes when we ask user to give us some data, some bad guys drop SQL injection. So preventing SQL injection, we should add the SQL real escape string function so that we could save our form with the SQL injection attack. So I'm gonna add MySQL real escape string around every single field so that we could save our data that we are getting from our user, and we can insert it safe and sound in our database. Now the first part has been completed. Now in the next part, we will add some validation on these fields. So see you there. Now in this lecture, we are going to add some validation on these fields so that we can also prevent some false information on these fields. So inside my submit button, I'm going to add here if condition, in which first of all I'm going to prevent my user to add any false information or prevent him by not leaving any of the field. So on the first field check, I'm going to say that you should not add the empty string, empty username, empty email, password, and confirm password. Otherwise you have to face errors and our form is not going to submit. So first of all, I'm gonna say if this my username is empty and if my this email field is empty and if my password field is empty and if my confirm password field is empty, then you should prevent user to submit this form. Now I can just echo a simple statement right here that could ask user to add the information, or I can say that you should not leave these fields empty. But it's not a good idea to echo right here. What is the best solution right here will be that if we pass the outputting data in some session so that you can also learn about sessions and you can make your code more sophisticated. So I'm going to add here a session that will show user error, and I'm gonna call this session with the name of message, and let's say we are going to say to our user that all fields must be filled out. Now we don't have any session file at the moment, so let's create a session file. So in my include folder, I'm going to create here a new file with the name of session.php. Now let's open this session.php file. in our editor. And before adding any type of code in this file, let's also connect this session file with this one. So this file has the name of session. Now in the session file, let's add the PHP scope right here. Let's close this db.php file. We don't need it because we already connected. And in the session file, first of all, we have to start our session. So for starting session, you just have to tell it session underscore start function. Now our session has been started. Now I can just simply see this one by echo this session message in my HTML code. But as we are not going to just add one validation check, we are going to add many validation check. So it will be bad programming if we add every time echo statement for our session message. So I'm going to create a function with the name of message here so that we can call this function every time whenever we got the error. So in my session.php file, I'm going to add here a function with the name of message, and inside this function I'm going to say that if is set if my session of this message has been set, then you should do the following things. And I'm going to add a div on runtime that could help me to show the session to the user without affecting my HTML code. So I'm going to add here a variable with the name of output, in which we will need a div with the class of message that we don't have at the moment. And as I use this double quotation, so I need to escape this one. And let's also add this class of message here. Now escaping the second quotation, or closing of this div. Now semicolon at the end. Now adding concatenation to the same variable of output, as we are going to show our session to the user that has the name of message. So I think it would be great if we apply the HTML entities, because every time whenever you have to show data to the user, you should apply HTML entities. And when you are taking data from the user, you should apply what? You should apply MySQL real escape string to void SQL injection. So inside this HTML entities, I'm going to just pass this session of message. Now last thing to concatenate with this output, and that is the ending of our div. Now as a last part of this function, we are just going to return our this output. So we made our session of message in which we applied this class of message for styling, and we didn't add any type of style in our style.css file. Here you can see we don't have any style to this style.css file with the respective message class inside my div. So now we are good to go. Now saving this one out, also this session.php file, and let's refresh our page. If I click on this register button, you can see we are not getting any message all fields must be output right here. Why? Because we added this function of message. So if you want to use this function, you have to output this function. So right here, right in my body section, I'm going to call this function of message, and I have to echo this function of message. Or saving this one out. If I reload my page again, you can see we got all field must be filled out. Refreshing it again, still we got all fields must be filled out. Now as you can see, if we refresh this page at the first time, we are still getting this message of all fields must be filled out without entering our register. So this is happening because we haven't added our something in our session.php file, and that is we didn't add the null value. So I have to make this session field first time to be null. So I'm going to make it to null so that it don't show me this all field must be filled out when the first time I browse my file. Now saving this one out, if I refresh this page, we don't have any kind of all field must be filled out. Now if I click on this register button, we are getting this one right here. So it's time we should add some styles according to this class of message that we made here. So in my style.css file, I'm going to add some style here. So here we have this function call. I'm gonna close this one in one div. Saving this one out. In my style.css file, I'm going to add style for my div with the class of message that we applied here. In this function, we got this div with the class of message, and now let's add some styles. So I have added some border, color, font weight, size, margin, width, height, and alignment, and margin to be bottom at 1 em. Now saving this one out, if I refresh this page and if I click on this register button, you can see we are getting this pop-up right here. It's very cool. So I think it would be great if we add the background color of red and make these fields to be some different color, maybe with the white. So in my style, I'm gonna make it to white, and let's add the background color of, I think this color would be great. So I have added some background color. Now saving this one out, if I refresh this page again and click on this register button, now you can see we are getting this very cool pop-up, all fields must be filled out. Now it's time we should add some more validation on our form. So move back to my user registration.php. I'm gonna add here a new check, and I'm gonna say else if my password and my confirm password are not equal, then you should show also the error in the session. Let's copy this one and paste it right after it. Now I'm going to change this message to be both password values must be same. Now saving this one out, refreshing the page, submit, all field must be filled out, and if I add some username to be Jazib, email to be jazibakram@gmail.com, and password to be Akram, and confirm password to be 5869, register, we are getting both password values must be same, this error. And also, as we are not receiving any kind of callback here, so I think it would be great in case if the user violate our validation, he should return to the user underscore registration dot php file. Although it's not required here, but I think it would be a great programming practice if you add and make your code more solid. So in my first if condition, I'm going to redirect my user to the location with the same location of this user registration.php in case if he violate my validation. And after that we should add the exit, means you should not do any further processing after that. Now saving this one out, also let's copy it and paste it in our next code as well. Saving this one out, if I refresh the page, if I click on register, we are redirecting. You can see the effect on this one right here. So refreshing the page again, you have to focus on this refresh page button. If I click on this register, you can see we are getting the request back. So instead of adding the header every time, I think it would be great if we add a function that could redirect my user in case if he violate my term. So in my function.php file, before any function, the function of encryption, I'm going to add here a new function with the name of redirect to. So adding this new function, and this function will accept one parameter that our user going to enter. So I'm gonna call this one with the name of new location. Now in the parentheses of this function, let's copy this code from here, this code of header. Let's cut it from here and paste it inside our function. And now add this variable of new location and concatenate it here. So we made this redirect function. Now in my user registration file, right here, instead of adding this one, I'm gonna call my redirect function. And inside its parameter, I'm going to pass our next link. Now everything is good. So when the user violate our validation, this function of redirect to will be called, and this one is going to go in our function.php file and come to this new location, and this new location will be going to be equal with this user registration.php file, and then it's going to be exit. So in here we didn't add our function file, we didn't include it, so it's time we should include our functions.php file right here. Now saving this one out, refreshing the page, register, nothing has been changed. Now for third validation, I'm going to add here one more else if, and I'm gonna say if the length of our password is less than 4, then you should restrict my user. And how can I check my length? By using str length function on this password. So I said that if the length of my password is less than 4, then you should pass a message in my session and say the user to that your password should include at least 4 values. Now saving this one out, we also have to redirect my user back to my registration. So I'm gonna call this one here and also this function right here. Now if I refresh my page again and if I enter register, all fields must be filled out. So I'm gonna add some data here and I'm going to add 123 password, same password 123, it's less than 4. Click on this register button. Now we are getting this message, password should include at least 4 values. Now our basic validation has been completed. Now we need to define the else structure, means if we are not getting any problem with these validation, then you should apply something else. And in this else scope, we are going to add all the code that will gonna help us to add data in our database through this user registration form. And that we are going to do in our upcoming lectures. So now in the else structure, I'm going to write my query that could insert all of the fields data in my this admin underscore panel table. So in the else structure, first of all, we have to establish our connection with the database. And in my db.php file, I already added the connection requirement. So I can just simply use this connecting db global in this else structure to insert my data. I don't have to write all of this code. So let's copy this variable of connecting db and we are going to require here global of our variable that we added in this file. And now we are good to go. We have connected our database. Now we have to write our query that could insert our data into database. So I'm gonna add here a new variable with the name of query and let's equal this variable with our query. So inside our query, we want to insert our data into our table of this admin underscore panel. So I'm gonna say that insert into admin underscore panel. Let's confirm its name, admin underscore panel, all in lowercase. And now I have to mention the column names that I got in my database. So I got ID, username, email and password. I don't have to do anything for the ID because I made it auto increment. It's going to increment every time we are going to add our record. So we need to focus on these username, email and password field just for now. So in here, I'm gonna mention the column name that we got in our database. First we got username, then we got email, then password, same like here. Now we need to assign the values to our username, email and password. So we have to write this values and in the parentheses we have to pass our variable that we are going to enter from our form. So the first value will be this username and the second value will be our email. We got the email field and also here. And in the third field, I'm gonna add my simple straight plain text password. Now on the next line, I have to run this query. So I'm gonna add new variable of execute and let's call our MySQL query function. And inside we have to pass this variable of query. Now saving this one out. Now I can just say that if my query runs successful, mean this execute run, then you should show a message and redirect my file to same page user registration.php. So I'm gonna pass here a message and I'm gonna give it value great in my session message. And if this query runs unsuccessful, we are going to say that in our message something went wrong. Now let's save this one out and do something here, refreshing the page. So if I add username of Jazib, email to be jazibakram@gmail.com, password to be secret, and register. Now there is some problem, something went wrong, try again. It means that our query hasn't been run successful. So we need to find out our error. We have this query, our global insert into admin underscore panel, panel with the double N. So let's see what we got here. We have registration underscore system. Then we have our table of admin underscore panel with the single N. So that's the error why our working has been stopped. So we need to remove this one N. You should careful with these type of spelling thing to avoid the further confusion. Now let's save this one, and if I refresh this page again and enter my username to be Jazib, email to be jazibakram@gmail.com, password to be 1234. Now great, our record has been added. So if I click on this one and browse, now you can see we are getting our record right here. So it would be great if we change the success message to with some different color instead of red. So let's do some CSS, and also let's define the session for the success message. So in my session.php file, I'm gonna copy all of this function of message, and I'm gonna paste it right after it, and I'm gonna change it to be success message, and let's also change its class to be success message and session to be success message as well. Everything is good right here. So now let's open this style.css file, and first of all copy this div of dot message that we made for our session, and I'm gonna change it for new class of success message. And now let's change the background color from red to be something like green. This looks good. Okay, now we also have to add the function calling. So let's copy this one, this function call, and let's paste it right after it, and also let's change this call to be success message when we are going to get our success message call. Let's save this, and in here in my executing great function, I also have to pass this success message session right here. So in case of something with the success, we are going to get the green background. Now saving this one out, refreshing the page, Jazib 1234, enter. Now we are getting this green background message that indicating our record has been added. Now in the database you can see we got these two fields, and there is some problem here. First of all, by this type of validation, a same user can register for 2 times. We need to take care of this thing that only one email could be used for one time registration purpose. So we need to add some query that could restrict our user not to add email twice or not to register twice. So this problem of dual email registration we are going to tackle in our next lecture by creating one function that could check whether we already got email in our database or not. So hang in there. So let's tackle this dual email problem. Back to my editor. So in this file of user registration.php, when we are doing our validation, I'm gonna add here one more else if, in which we will add one query that could make sure whether the user email that he is going to enter is already exist in my database or not. So I can add here else if, in which I'm gonna add query, but I don't think so. It's a good idea to put all of the code in this user registration.php file. So instead of that, in my functions.php file, I'm gonna add a query in this file in form of functions so that we can separate our things. So first of all, let's drop our db.php connection file in this functions.php file so that we could work freely with our database by calling its global of connecting db. Now I'm gonna add here a function with the name of check email exists or not, and we are going to take one argument from the user email, and inside this function, first of all we have to call our global of this one connecting db so that we could connect our database with this function. Now on the next line we are going to write our query, and I'm gonna say in this query select all the columns, select static from my table of admin underscore panel, where the email that we got in our database is equal to email that we are going to get from the user through this argument of function. Then you should execute this query passing our query variable, and in case if we got result more than 0, then you should return true. So if using MySQL underscore num underscore rows on this query of execute, if we got result that is greater than 0, so this function of MySQL num rows is going to check all the rows of this query of execute, and in case if we got a number of rows greater than 0, then it's going to return us true, and else it going to return us what? Yeah, false. Now our part has been done here, so let's save this one, and in user registration in our else if, I'm gonna call this function of check email exist or not, and in the argument I'm gonna pass the email that we are going to receive from the user using this super global. So this one is going to be here, and then it going to check this function call in this functions.php file. This is just a simple function concept, how the function work and how its call work. Then after performing this one, if we got the true result, then it would show us error and return us back to user registration.php file. At this time the error will be email is already in use. Now saving this one out, and also this functions.php file. Now let's refresh our page. If I add username of Jazib, email to be jazibakram@gmail.com, that we already got here, password to be 1234, register. Now you can see we are getting email is already in use. And in case if I add some different information, Jazib email to be contact@jazibakram.com, password to be 1234, register. Now great. And here you can see we are getting our new record. So we eradicate this problem of dual email. But here is one more thing. You can see that we are getting very straight plain password. We are not hashing them. So we made our functions of hashing here. So it's time we should use this password encryption function on this password that we are going to receive from the user. So in our else structure where we added our query of inserting into database, I'm gonna add here a new variable of hashed underscore password, and let's equal this variable with our function call of password encryption that is going to help us to encrypt our password. So I'm gonna equal this one with this password encryption function, and let's pass this variable of password that we are going to receive from our field in its argument. So then it's going to do the rest of the hashing and generating sort and etc. But not this password check, because we are going to receive this password check function when we are going to log in. So you don't have to think about this password check function at the moment. So now I converted this password that I'm going to receive from the user using this password encryption, and now we got this new variable of hashed password. So instead of pasting this old password variable, I'm gonna send my hashed password this time. Now saving this one out, and let's delete all of these records. Now let's register Jazib for the first time, jazibakram@gmail.com, and password to be 1234 1234. Register. Great. And let's see what we got. Now you can see we got this encrypted form of password here. So this is our encrypted password. So we eradicate this dual problem and also the plain text password. So in the next lecture we are going to design our login page, because our work of register now button has been done. Now for creating login page, we have to use this user registration.php file, because there are many things that we are going to need in our login page. So let's first of all save this file as login.php. Okay, so now in this file we will need our email and password. So let's remove this username and also this confirm field of password. Now let's remove this empty for username check, and we have to leave this email password as it is, and also remove this confirm password field, because we are going to only have two fields in our login page, email and password. We are going to validate our user to enter into our area by checking these fields. Now removing this validation, all these validation from confirm password to password length to existing email or not. Now removing this else, hold else. And let's make this email and password instead of and we should make to or, because if the user leave email or leave password, you should show this error. Now in here we don't need this username field anymore, so removing this one from here, and also we don't need this confirm password field, and I'm gonna make this field of submit instead of register to be login. Now saving this one out. One more thing to do here, we have to change the action attribute to be login.php, and also this title to be login. So let's go through everything real quick. So we got this submit button, and we also have to close its closing right here. Then we got this if condition, just one validation on email or password. And then we got our these fields of email, password and submit button to be value of login. Now saving this one out. If I back to my user registration folder, you can see we got this file of login.php. Click on this. Now we got email field and password field. So it's time we are going to take two values from the user and we are going to see whether those email and password value exist in our database or not. Now we got this validation, all field must be filled out. Right after that, I'm gonna add here one else. I'm gonna write here a query. But instead of writing here query, we can write the query in our function.php file. So in here, I'm gonna add new function with the name of login attempt. And this function will take two arguments. First one will be our email and the second one will be our password. So now writing its query. So I'm gonna say that you should select static, select all the columns from my table of admin underscore panel where email is equal to this. I can just copy this one from here. And then you should execute my query. So if this query work, then you should have this one if condition in which we are going to fetch all the data according to that particular email that we got from our query of execute. So I said here, run this query, and if you find any email that user is going to enter, then you should fetch all the data according to that email. Now let's equal this one with variable of admin, one new variable, and inside this if condition, because we check our email, now it's time we should check also the password, because this login attempt will be considerable on our email and password. Now if we got this email by using this query, then we will fetch the relevant data according to that email, and if we fetch that email data, then we also have to fetch the password from this relevant email using this MySQL fetch associative. So inside this, I'm gonna add one more if condition, and in which I'm gonna call my function of password check that I made here to check our user password and our existing hash stored in our database. So I can call this function, and on the first parameter I'm gonna pass this variable of password that user is going to enter right here, and in the next parameter I'm gonna pass the password that I stored in my database, and that password I can only fetch by using this variable of admin. Why? Because I'm fetching all of the data of this email and storing it in this admin. So now I can simply make the super global of this admin and access the password according to this email that's stored in my database. So I can just simply use this super global of password field. So this password field is this field in my database. Now in this if condition, if we run this password check successfully, then you should return this variable of admin, and we done our work. And else, if the user email that user is going to enter is not equal to any of the email in our database, then you should return null. So now you can easily see that in this function, if we find the email in our database according to that email that we are going to receive from the user, then we are going to fetch our this code. And else, if we are not having the email that user sent, then we will just return null. So everything looks good right here, and we don't have anything for this bracket, so let's remove this one. Now saving this one out, now we need to call this function of login attempt in our login.php file. So in here I'm gonna call this function of login attempt in my login.php file, and we have to send two parameter of email and password. And let's equal this one with new variable of found account. Now one more thing to say here, that when we are going to get this user password and this password from the database, then by using this function call, this one will going to come right here, and this existing hash will be our admin password that we are going to get from the user. So this one will going to be come right here, and this admin password is going to come right here. Then it will encrypt our hash, so we don't have to worry about it. So if the hash matching to this existing hash, this admin password, then it going to return us true, otherwise false. So this is all the working of our blowfish algorithm. We don't have to worry about it. Now saving this one out. Now in my login.php file, if you found account means if this variable of found account is giving you something, means it's returning some admin from here, then you should redirect user to this page of welcome.php, which we don't have at the moment. And else we can pass here a message that invalid email address or password. We are not telling the user which one is wrong, your email is wrong or password is wrong. So this is also one more security technique to map out, not to tell user about which one is wrong. And we will send our user back to our login.php file. So one more thing right here. So if this validation is also occur, we also have to send our user to login.php file. Now saving this one out. Saving this one out as well. Now let's refresh this page. If I give it any record that I don't got in my database, password of anything, login, now invalid email password. And if I give it correct one, jazibakram@gmail.com, the record that we already got here, and password to be, I think it was 1234, login. Now we are welcome.php file. Although we don't have this file, so it means that our code is working. So let's create here a new file. So here am I, this simple.php file. I'm gonna save this file as welcome.php, and let's change it name to be welcome. Now back, refreshing the page. If I give it Jazibakram and correct password of 1234, now you can see we are entering our 1234 password. So although we got this encrypted form, we don't have to worry about it. We just have to put the right password. Now login.php, we are getting this page of welcome.php. So now this login.php file is also working. Now in the next lecture, we are going to see how you can activate your user by email. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to see how you can register your user by email confirmation. Opening the user underscore registration.php file. Now, in this file, I'm gonna add two more values that we are going to enter from this user underscore registration.php file, and these two values will be automatic. There will be no control from the user on these two values. So the first value I'm gonna call, this value will be token, and for the second value I'm gonna call it active, but I don't have to pass that value and make its variable. Why? Because I can just simply enter that value using here. So for this token value, let's add any type of random value. So for adding random value, I'm gonna use bin to hexa function, and I'm gonna apply it on open SSL underscore random underscore pseudo bytes, and I'm gonna ask for 40 bytes from this function. So first we are going to get 40 bytes from this random SSL function, and then we will only have from binary to hexa, from 0 to F. So 0 to 9, after 9, 10 will be A, then we will have binary to hexa random numbers in this variable of token. Now saving this one out. Now one more thing to do here in this file, you can see when we wrote our this query of insert into, so right after this password field I'm gonna pass the token field, the token variable, and we don't have any field according to this token variable. So let's create a field. So in structure I'm gonna add here a new column, and I'm gonna add that column right after my password field. And now let's give it name of token in lower form and make it type to be varchar and length to be 45. Now saving this one out. So in my browse you can see we got this token field now. So now if I add here my new field of token and this variable of token that we are going to get from this binary to hexa OpenSSL random pseudo bytes. Now save this one out, and let's refresh our page, and adding the username, email to be Jazib Akram, password, register. Great. Now we registered our user, and let's browse this one. Now you can also see that we got the value in our token. So using this token we are going to activate our user, but before doing anything, first of all we have to limit our user, and we can do that by passing here a value of off in our field and one new column of active, that we don't have any active column in our database. So let's create this column of active. So in the structure, let's add one more column right after our token, and I'm gonna call this column to be active, and value to be varchar, length to be 5. Saving this one out. Now if I show you, this is the column name of active that we just created, and by default we are going to pass the value of off. So when the user confirm his email address through email, then we are going to make it on and give it access to the welcome page. Now saving this one out, refresh my page, but before doing that let's delete this record. Username to be filling field. Great. Browse our structure. You can see we got token and active to be off. All the part of our database has been completed. Now in the next lecture we are going to see the prototype of our registration process, how it going to work, and how it gonna help us to register our user by email verification. This lecture will focus on the process of our email verification and its prototype, because before building anything we have to understand how we are going to accomplish our project further. So suppose we have the register user page that we made and we passed value of username, email, password, token and active, and we made our active to be default off. So when the user is going to register, we are just going to take all these values and save these values in the database. Then we made our login page in which we are going to take the email and password. Now here is the bridge between registration page and login page, and that is activating our user by email confirmation. So by default, from the user registration page, we are sending our active value to be off. And first, we are going to define one function that will limit our user on login page to give access to those whose value of active is on in the database. But by default, registration page will send off value to the active column. So when the user hit the button of register on register page, we are going to send our user email and ask him to verify his email by clicking on one link. Then the user will click on that link, and on that link we will add a code to make the value of our active to on, and then we will send a success message in session that you activated your account successfully. Now by this link we activated our user and make the active value to be on in our database. Now we are good to go, because on the login page we made one restriction: only allow those who has the value of on in the active column, otherwise ask them to verify their email. So now first thing first, we should limit our login page to allow those who have the active column with the on value. So in the next lecture we are going to define one function in our function file that will restrict our login page to give access only to those who has the on value in their active column or database. Otherwise, ask them to confirm their email address. So let's move to our next lecture. So let's restrict our login.php page to give access only to those who has the active status of on in their database column. So opening login.php file and also functions.php file. Now in the functions.php file, I'm gonna define here a function with the name of confirming account active status. Now in this function we are going to define here a query. So I'm gonna copy this query that we made earlier and do the necessary addition. So let's copy this whole query and paste in this one. Now first we need to have this global connection, it's good. Then we are going to stack all the columns from our admin underscore panel, where instead of email, where we have to check our active column, where active is on. So I'm gonna pass here the value of that column. And same thing here, we don't have to change anything of this function. So I just made a little bit change here, that select all the columns from a table of admin panel where the status of active is on. Then we are going to process our this login attempt function. So let's copy this function name from here, and in my login.php file write before this function call of login attempt in the else structure, I'm gonna add here one more if, and inside this if I'm gonna pass this function of confirming account active status. Now starting of this function and the ending of this function will include right after the else of this if condition right here. So we are going to take two values, email and password, from the user. Then we are going to apply the validation. After that, in the else structure, first we are going to see that whether the status of active is on by using this function. Then if we found the status to be on, then we are going to process all of this code. Otherwise, instead of processing all of this code, we are going to add here else, and in this else we are just going to pass one failure message that account confirmation required, nothing more. Now saving this one out. Now also this functions.php file. Now let's browse this login.php file. Now you can see we got this user of Jazip and default its status is off. So let's browse this login.php file. If I give it email Jazib Akram and password, now you can see we are getting this account confirmation required pop-up because the status of our active is off. So we need to make it on by sending user an email. So finally we reached to our destination of sending email. So in the next lecture, first I'm gonna teach you how you can set your localhost to send email. Hi, in this lecture we are going to set our localhost to send emails. So first of all, let's start our server of XAMPP, and after starting it, let's back to our C drive, and inside C drive we have folder of XAMPP, and we need to locate our PHP folder in this XAMPP folder. So here is my PHP folder, and inside my PHP folder I have to locate php.ini file, and here is my php.ini file. Let's open this file in our editor. So this is php.ini file. Now in this php.ini file you have to locate line number 1142. You can see right here, and they put this semicolon at the beginning of this line. So remove this semicolon means uncommented, and on line 1145 you have to add semicolon here to comment it. Now our work has been done for php.ini file. Let's save this one and close our editor. Now inside my XAMPP folder we need to do one more thing. We have to open this send mail folder, and in this folder we have this file of sendmail.ini. Let's open it in our editor, and on line 14 you can see we have this SMTP server. You have to add your server of your domain, and in case if you have Gmail or Yahoo, you have to add the SMTP server of respective mail company. So I'm going to set up for Gmail. So for setting this SMTP for Gmail, first of all we have to add SMTP then dot then gmail.com, and we also have to add the SMTP port of our Gmail server. And for sending email, the SMTP port is 587. Now save this one out. Now scroll down this page. On line 46 and 47, you have to add your Gmail email here and the password of that Gmail account. I'm going to set up it for my email address of jazibakram@gmail.com, and now I have to give my actual password of this email account here. Now our work has been done. Now save this file and close them from here, and also our editor. Now in my XAMPP folder, inside my htdocs, I'm going to create here a file that could send email. So I'm going to call it sending email.php. Let's open this file in our data. Now first of all, let's add PHP scope right here. And we need to add the mail function that could send our email. So I'm going to add mail function. First of all, in the first parameter, I have to add the email address of that person whom I want to get email from my jazibakram@gmail.com account. So in this case, I'm going to add the same account here, Jazibakram. And in the next parameter, I have to give subject to my email, and I'm going to call it testing. And in the next parameter, I have to add my message, and I'm going to say this is just a test to check localhost email. And in the last parameter, I have to add my Gmail account that I use to set my SMTP server. And that account, first of all, I have to add from, then I have to give my jazibakram@gmail account. Now put semicolon at the end. Now save this one out. So this is our two. We are going to send our email to this email address, and this is our subject. This is our body of our email, and this is our source of sending email that we added in our sendmail.ini file. So save this one out. Before doing anything, stop Apache server and restart it again so that it could get the new configuration. Now open browser, localhost. Inside localhost, we added this file of sending email.php. Click on this file. Now our email has been sent, and this is my Gmail account. You can see I got this email, review blocked, sign in attempt. So if I click on this, you can see we have this message, hi Jazib, Google just blocked someone signing into your Google account, and that is less secure app. So by default, Google Gmail prevent signing in from less secure app. So if you want to see the result, you need to disable this functionality. So are you the one who tried signing in? Yes, I am. So click on this allowing access to less secure apps, and turn access for less secure app. My setting has been changed. I got the notification on my mobile, and also I got this email that access for less secure apps has been turned on. And if I refresh this page again, now our email has been sent, and you can see I got this email testing. This is just a test to check localhost email. So this way you can send email. There is a better way to write this mail function. So let's first comment this one, and I'm going to add here a better way, and that is using variables. So I defined this variable of email2 in which I put this string of email. Then I have this subject of testing. See the body variable we have, let's check it's working or not using better variable way. And then I have the header in which I passed my source account that I use to set my localhost for email, and that is jazibakram@gmail.com. And inside my if condition, I'm using mail function, and first of all I'm passing this to email, and then I am passing this subject, then passing body, then headers. And inside headers we have our from jazibakram@gmail.com. So echo mail sent successfully if this function execute well, and else mail not sent. So let's save this one out and refresh this sending email.php file. We got error on line 11 because we need to remove these multi-line comment ending here. Saving this one out, refreshing the page, mail sent successfully. And in my Gmail you can see we have this new mail testing. Let's check it's working or not using better variable way. So this way you can set up your local host to send the email. But remember, it's not the secure way to sending email. But as long as it's doing job for you, it's good. Now you have learned about sending email. So it's time we should apply that technique in our project. So first of all, let's copy that file that we just made in our last lecture of this sending email.php, and I'm gonna paste this file inside my PHP course user registration right here, in which we got all the files. Now let's open our editor. We need to open this user underscore registration.php file and also the sending email.php file that we just made. Now in the user underscore registration file where we execute our insert query, so now it's time we should add our email code right here. So I'm gonna remove this session of success message of create and also this redirect function, and I'm going to copy all of these variables of email to subject, body and headers so that we don't have to write this code again. So I'm gonna paste this inside my query execution if condition, and now we are going to just edit our email message. So for subject I'm gonna call it confirm account, and now for the body, first of all I'm going to say hi, then using concatenation I'm gonna add here username that we are going to receive from the fields of the registration page. Then I'm going to concatenate it with another string in which I'm gonna say here is the link to confirm your account, and now I'm going to add here a link that will take our user from his email box to the page of our account activation. So the link will be http localhost php course, and inside php course we will have our file of user underscore registration. Then we will have all of these files, and here we are going to create one new files of activate.php. So I'm gonna just simply pass here that file name that we are going to create, and for the search query parameter I'm gonna pass the token, and that token will be equal to our this token that we will create by binary to hexa open random SSL function. So now adding this token, that's it. Now for the header I'm gonna call this variable, instead of header I'm gonna call it company, or I think sender email would be more appropriate, sender email. And after that we will have our mail function, and I'm going to copy our mail function from this sending email.php file. So let's copy this whole if condition, whole one, and let's paste it right after it. So for the success we will call our session of success, and we will say that check email for activation, and we will redirect our user to the login.php file. And for some problem we will redirect our user again to the user underscore registration.php file, and for this session message we will say that something went wrong, try again. Now one more thing to do here, we have to change the new variable for this header value. So now let me go through everything. So we are going to first of all see that if this query runs successful or not. If this query runs unsuccessful, so instead of executing all of this code, we are just gonna move to this else structure and say to user something went wrong, try again. And else if this query runs successful, then you should create variable of email to subject body and say hi to the user and pass this username in the email that we are going to receive from the registration fields, and then pass this simple text, here is the link to confirm your account, or you can say active your account would be more appropriate. Then we will pass user a link of because we are using our local host, then we have our PHP course, then we have user registration folder, and after that we will have our active.php file which we don't have at the moment. And then in the search query parameter we are going to create this token, and this token will be equal to the token that we are going to generate for that register user. So everything looks good. Now saving this one out, let's back to our user underscore registration.php file. Now there is some problem on line 38, and that is because we got this whole string and then we are putting this variable. So we need to concatenate this variable by using this dot. And one last thing to edit, because we are not going to have the email to this email, so we should focus on the wider level, and that is the email that we are going to receive from our user underscore registration page. So we need to copy this variable of email, and let's delete this one from here. And in the field of our mail function, let's put directly our email which we are going to get from our form. Now saving this one out, everything looks good. If we refresh our page again, no error at all. So let me delete this email. Now refreshing the page again, if I add Jazib, email to be jazibakram@gmail.com, password 1234, register. Now you can see we got this check email for activation green message, and also we reached to login.php file. It means that everything worked perfect. So we need to check our email. So opening my Gmail account, now you can see I got this email, and here is the message, hi Jazib, here is the link to activate your account. So if I click on this link, you can see we are on the active.php file where we are going to add our code to activate our user. For this activate.php file, we are going to build this file and have some PHP code that gonna get this token from the URL and activate our user, and we will gonna do it in our next lecture. So see you there. So now let's create our activate.php file here in the same folder of user underscore registration. Activate.php. Now let's open this file in our editor. Now here we got this file of activate.php. Now the first of all we have to grab all the things that we might need in this file of activate.php. So I'm gonna copy these PHP lines from user underscore registration and I'm gonna paste them right here. We will need our session.php file. There will be no need of this style.css file, and also we don't need this function.php file in this file. We might need this db.php file, and now let's put the end of PHP scope. Okay, so first of all we have to establish our connection with our database file by using global, and we have to copy this connecting db and paste it in our new file of activate.php. Now by using one if condition, I'm gonna get my token that is appearing in my browser by using super global of get. So in the if condition, I'm gonna define here a function of is set. If set is my super global of get, and if it is has the value of token in our URL bar, then you should do the following things. And now the first thing first, so this token, I'm gonna equal this token with some variable, and I'm gonna call that variable will be token from URL, and I'm gonna equal this one with this super global of get of token. So now we got this token in our this variable of token from URL. Now we can write our query that could confirm our account and change the value of active to be on in our database, so that our login page will give access to our user. So defining one query here, and this query will be this time update query. So we need to update our table of admin underscore panel and set the value of active to be on, so that the login page could give our user access. And this is just the simple query to update, but we also have to mention that you should do this thing on only that column where the token is equal to token from the URL. So I said here that update my table of admin underscore panel and set the active to be on, where the token column is equal to this token from the URL that we are going to get from our URL bar by using this super global of token. Now we have to execute this query, and I'm gonna execute MySQL underscore query, and I'm gonna pass this query that we made here. Now on the next line, I'm gonna say that if this query runs successful, then you should show user one success message in session and say that account activated successfully. And in case if this query won't run, then in the else statement you should give user a failure message, something went wrong, try again, and redirect my user to the user underscore registration.php file. Now saving this one out, now we are going to update our table of admin underscore panel and set the active to be on, where the token that we are going to get from the URL will be equal to this variable of token from URL. We need $sign here to make it variable. Good. Now everything looks good. Now saving this one out. Now let's open our browser, and I'm gonna delete this record from here. So let's open this user underscore registration.php and register our user from the beginning. Register, check email for activation, and we are on login.php file. Now opening my Gmail account, you can see we got this email. So I'm gonna click on this link. Now we have this a little bit error, function redirect to, because we unintentionally remove our function.php file with this one. So let's include our function file, because this function of redirection is in my function.php file. So let's paste this link to be in here, saving this one out. If I refresh this page again, account activated successfully. Now in my browser, if I try to log in now you can see we are getting this account confirmation required. So it means that there might be some problem, so we need to figure out. And in my database, if we update our value of active to be on, we haven't done it. So there is some kind of problem that we might have to find out. And in the confirmation account, you can see we got this token of EAF. So there could be a problem with this token. So this token is starting from EAF and ending with 97. And in my database, this one is starting from EAF and ending with 3C, and this one has very less value as compared to the token that we are sending. So in my opinion, there might be a problem in our structure of database. So if I open this structure now, in my token field, I made it length to be 45, and my confirm account token, I'm sending token with the length more than 45. So I'm sending a very long value in my token, but due to insufficient space in my token field, because I made it 45, I'm not getting the full value of token in my database. So you can see we are only getting value till 5663C, and here is 5663C right here, and right after this 9 to end of the token, we are not saving this one due to insufficient space in our database. So there is this advice for you that you should add enough length in your database to avoid these type of logical errors. So if I browse the structure and change the value of token, and instead of 45, let's make it to 200, so that we won't have any type of problem in the future. And let's also change the value of password. I already made it 130, although there is no need to change it, but let's change it and make it more wider space for this password string. Let's also make it to 200. Although we don't have any problem with the password, but I'm just changing it for the sake of doing things in a good way. So now everything looks good, and now let's browse our database and delete this one, and let's go back to user underscore registration and register user from the beginning again. Register, check email for activation, and here I got this email. Now you can see this one is ending with E53, and in my database, if I show you, this token is also ending with E53. So we eradicate this problem of insufficient field space in our token. So I think it would make it. So now let's click on this link. Account activated successfully means it made our status of active to be on using this file of activate.php that we add just now. So if I browse this again, and now here you can see we updated its value from off to be on. So it means that we are good to log in now. So if I log in again now, 1 2 3 4, now you can see we got this welcome.php file. So it means that our account verification process has been completed. So this all restriction was happened due to this function that we added in our login.php file, confirming account active status. And in the function file, if I can show you right now, we got this function of confirming account active status, and we made it to give access only to those who has the active value. So in the login.php file, I have added this function of confirming account active status and put everything of login attempt function inside it. So on this user underscore registration, I'm sending an email, and that email further take our user to activate.php file, in which we are changing the active to be on by using this super global of token that we got in our link bar right here. So now the activated user can easily log in by putting his email and password. But wait a minute, you may be thinking that this page welcome.php, if I close my Firefox and open it again, and if I look for my welcome.php file, then I can easily reach to this welcome page without entering my email and password. So why the name on earth I designed such system which could not restrict my user to reach to the main page without login? So we need to add one restriction on this page welcome.php to give access only to those who entered their email and password by proper channel using login page, so that no one could reach to this welcome.php file without login. So for that, first of all, let's back to our editor and let's open this login.php file. So here you can see where we found our account and add this function of login attempt, and the place where we are sending our user to the welcome.php file, we can simply set one session and pass that session in our welcome.php file. And also we can use that session to make one function of login that could restrict our user to give access only to those who has that session in their browser. Now for doing that, if I show you this login attempt function in my functions.php file, here you can see I got this login attempt function, and in that function I fetch all the data according to the user email before seeing the user password, and after seeing user password I'm returning the admin in form of fetch, and that admin is saving in login attempt after a successful login attempt. And here login.php file, I equal this login attempt function. I said if it is true, then you make this variable of found account. So I put all the data of this login attempt function using this MySQL fetch associative into this found account. So now I can easily make session to access the data of that particular person with that email and password. So for doing that, I can create here as many sessions as I want. So the first session, I'm gonna call this session to be user ID underscore ID. And now for accessing user ID, I just have to pass this variable of found account that is getting all of my data. And in the super global of this found account, I have to pass the column of my database name, of my database column name. Now for accessing his ID, I have to pass this small ID right here. Now if I want to access all of his information, I can define the next session and I can call it user name. Now this time this session to be username, and for accessing his username I have to pass this username of lower form that is same in my DB. Now for accessing his email, I can simply call this session to be email, whatever name you want, and pass this lower form of email so that we could access the right data from this variable of found account that is getting my data from this MySQL fetch source. Now I passed all the data of the user in my session. Now it's time we should open our welcome.php file, and first of all in this welcome.php file we have to start our session to see this data that we are sending from login.php file. For that we need this require once to be session in my welcome.php file right at the top. Now I can access all of this information that I'm sending in my session in this file of welcome.php. So in this PHP scope, I'm gonna add here one echo statement, and I'm gonna say that first of all my ID is, and then I can concatenate it with this session of user ID that is getting my ID from this found account. So I can concatenate it with this one, then I can concatenate it with one more string, and I can call it with the name of, then I can concatenate it with this username session, and then I can concatenate it with the email. Let's put it in the string and concatenating it with this session of user email. Now semicolon at the end. Now if I save this one out, now you will also see that the information of that person who is going to log in from this login.php page on this welcome.php file. Now saving this one out, if I open my login.php page, giving it username, email and password, now you can see I also got this my ID is 10 with the name of Jazib with the email jazibakram@gmail.com. So now we are accessing our this information in this page of welcome.php file. So now we can easily use this session to restrict our user to give access only to those who come on this page with proper channel using login page. For that we need one function that I'm going to define in my functions.php file. So right at the end, I'm gonna define here one new function and I'm gonna say it to be login function. And in this function, I am just going to check whether this session of user ID or maybe username is set or not. And if it is set, then you should give user access, otherwise not. So I'm gonna say if is set this user ID that we are setting, if this user ID is set, then you should return true. And one more function I'm going to define here, and I'm going to call this function to be confirm login. And in this function we are going to just check this function that what is the value of this function. So in this function I'm going to define one condition of if, and I'm going to say that if this function of login is true, then you should not have any problem. But if this function of login is not set, means it is not giving you value of true, so I have to add not here. So if this function of login is not true, then you should create a session and pass the failure message to my user that you have to log in, and redirect my user to login.php file. So I made it two-way security right here. I said that this function will be confirm login, and in this function we are going to check whether this function of login is true or not. And if it is not, then we are going to set our user to the login.php file. And otherwise, if it is login, means if this session is set, then we don't have a problem, give him access. So now we need to add this function in our welcome.php file to restrict our user. So I'm gonna add it right here, and in the PHP scope, but and also we are using this functions.php file in this one. So we have to grab our functions.php file and add it right here. So adding it right here. Now we made our function. So whatever page you want to add in the access privileges, you should add this confirm login function on that page. Now saving this one out, also this functions.php file. Now if I close my window and open it again and try to access that page of welcome.php, now you can see we are getting this pop-up, you have to log in. And if I log in now, 1 2 3 4, I'm on my page of welcome.php. So this way you can give access to those pages who you want. Now this is the structure of designing our welcome page and making it private only for the login user. Now I'm gonna create here a new page of logout, that could log out my user and send him back to the login.php page. So first of all, in this page of welcome.php, I'm gonna define here one hyperlink, and this hyperlink will be take our user to the logout page, logout.php, which we are gonna define. I'm gonna say here log out now. Now saving this one out, let's create here a new file with the name of logout.php. Now in this file, first of all, we will need our session, because by using this page of logout, we are going to delete this session that we created in this login page right here. So before adding anything in logout page, if I show you, so if I can show you what we got here in the option, in the privacy tab of Firefox, here in the use custom setting for history, show cookies. Now here you can see we got this session of PHP session ID, and it means that our session is starting. So if I close this one right here, browse my welcome.php file again, I can easily do that and access it without logging in. Why? Because there is this session that has been stored and it will be end when I close this window. So if I remove this session and refresh this page, now you can see my session has been destroyed, and I am on my login.php page. Now you have idea, in our logout.php page, we are going to add some code that will make the session of user ID to be null or deleted, so that after logging out, we have to require for logging in. So first of all, I have to include the session file in this page of logout. And now the next thing is, first of all, I have to add the PHP scope in this file of logout, and the session that I'm adding in my login page, and in here in my PHP scope, first of all, I'm going to equal this session with the null value, so make it null, and then I'm gonna destroy my session by using session underscore destroy function, and then I'm going to redirect my user to login.php file. So this is all the code to get rid of your session, and after logging out, you can make your user to login again. Now saving this one out. So now everything is good, but I'm calling here a function of redirect, so I have to include my function file right here as well. So now if I log in, now you can see I'm on my welcome.php page, and if I log out now, I'm on my login.php page, and if I try to go again in my welcome.php page, now you can see I cannot go there, because by using this logout page, by destroying my session and make my user ID of session to be null, I cannot go back to welcome.php page until I log in. Now maybe you are wondering that we made this welcome.php page only for the registered user only. So if you want to add more pages in this scope of welcome.php, how you can do that? It's very simple. And I have this simple.php page, and I'm gonna save this page as welcome Jazib. Let's save this page. Let's add its extension. Now we got this page of welcome Jazib. So this page, I'm gonna just change its title to be with the name of my Jazib Akram private page, and in its body I'm gonna add one h1 in which I'm going to say that Jazib akram.com/coupons, and then we will have one h2 heading in which I will say that browse it for deals. Now saving this one out, we got this page of welcome.jazib.php. Here I got this page of welcome.jazib.php. Just click on it and you can see that we got jazibakram.com/coupons. Browse it for coupons or deals. So this is page and anyone can access it without logging in. So if you want to make it private, you can do that easily by just adding 3 statements in this page. And that is, in this page of welcome.php, first of all, you have to add the session, then function, then this confirm login page. So I'm going to copy them and paste them right at the beginning of welcome.jazib.php page. So this confirm login page will make this page private and ask for login. So any of the page you want to make private, you just have to add this function of confirm login and of course this function file and the session file as well. Now saving this one out, if I refresh this page just for now again, now you can see we got this message of you have to log in, and we cannot access that page again, whatever we can do. So if I click on this welcome.jazib.php, I redirected back to login.php and I'm getting this message of you have to log in. So this way you can make your page private. For adding any of the page in the restricted area, you should add these statements. So when we log in to our account, you can see we are on our welcome.php page and we can go on any page we want. And if I close this welcome page and open even my Google, I can easily do that. And if I want to go back to my welcome page, I can go back. Why? Because our session is running in our browser. But when I close this window, and if I try to open my Firefox again and browse my page of welcome, now I cannot reach to my welcome page until I log in. So it's time we should include our remember me feature in this page of login, so that if the user check on that feature, he should not have to log in again, even if he closed this window. So in this lecture, we are going to add our remember me feature in our project. So now here is my login.php page, and in this page I'm going to add here one new field with the name of checkbox and remember me. So this time this type of this field will be checkbox and the name of this field will be remember. Now we don't have to pass the value for our checkbox. However, we have to add here a text of remember me. Now saving this one out, if I show you this page of login.php, now here you can see we got this checkbox and that we got this remember me. Let's style this remember me as well. So I'm gonna add the span field info around it so that we got this one also stylish. And also let's add some space before this remember me feature by using our space of HTML and NBSP. Now saving this one out, if I refresh my page again, you can see I got this remember me feature right here. So now when the user is going to check on this one, we are going to set a cookie in our browser so that user can come whenever he wants without entering his email and password again, like the Facebook account or your Gmail account. Now for doing that, we have to set our cookie to that remember feature. Now you can see this field of checkbox has the name of remember. So in the login.php page, when we found our account, I'm gonna add here one if condition, and I'm gonna say that if this remember field is set, then by using the super global of post, and this field has the name of this remember. So I'm gonna say that if this superglobal of remember is set, then you should create one cookie, and you can set your cookie by using set cookie function, in which you need 3 parameters. So if you are short of PHP basic concepts, I would recommend my PHP fundamentals and building blocks course, that is for complete beginners who want to learn about basic PHP, and also there will be some project in that course, so that with learning basics you could also build something by using basic knowledge of PHP. So for setting our cookie we need 3 arguments. First of all, we have to give our cookie name, and I'm gonna call this cookie to be name of setting email. So this will be the name of this cookie, and in the next parameter we have to pass some value to that cookie, and I'm going to pass the email address that I'm gonna receive from my user on this login.php page, because that email will be unique. So we will set our cookie for that particular email address. So I'm gonna pass the email right here, and in the third function we have to set our time to that cookie, and this time will be in the seconds. So we have to set here a time that should tell our browser to set this cookie for how long. So I'm gonna call this one with equal to this variable of expire time and semicolon at the end. Now for this expire time we have to create this variable of expire time right here. So I'm gonna create this variable of expire time, in which I'm going to pass some time here. So normally cookie take our times in second. So if you want the current time, then you should use the time function of PHP, and this time function means right now, and for how long I have to add the next value in seconds. So for setting my cookie for 60 seconds, I can just simply plus 60 right here, but for setting my cookie to 1 hour, and 1 hour has 60 minutes, so I have to multiply 60 seconds with 60 minutes. And if I want to set my cookie for 1 day, then I have to multiply it with 24. Now setting my cookie for 1 day, semicolon at the end. Now this is how you are going to set your cookie. Now we have to pass this cookie in our condition of this function of confirm login. So move back to my functions.php file. Here I add this function of login, in which I asked my function to return true when you have the session ID of user ID. So we will have the session ID of user ID. Now for adding also our cookie in our login function, we have to add one OR statement with this session ID. So I'm gonna say OR is set the super global of cookie that has the name of this setting email, then you should do and return true. So this setting email is this cookie that I'm setting in my cookie. Now saving this one out, and also this functions.php file. Now let's browse our file again, and if I add here information, I'm on my welcome.php page. Log out now. If I add information again and also check this remember me feature, set my cookie. Now if I show you in the option of Firefox, in privacy, show cookies, you can see that I set two things here. First of all, I got this PHP session ID, then I got setting email cookie, and here you can also see that this cookie is going to expire on March 29, 2017, and today is March 28, 2017. So we set our cookie to 1 day. Now close this one out. So if I close this window now, and now if I browse my browser again and open my welcome.php file, now you can see I'm on my welcome page, but I'm short of user ID, name and user email because that session was expired when I close my browser. Now I'm seeing my this welcome.php page just because of my cookie. So if I add something in my welcome.php page, and if I can say that here, if I add one if condition and say that if is set this session of user ID, then you should show user all of this code. Okay, now saving this one out, if I refresh this page again, now you can see I'm not getting any type of error because my session of user ID is not set. So if I log out now and try to log in again, now you can see I'm getting my information because my session user ID is set. And let's create one more cookie here. So we created this cookie for email. Now I'm going to create the same cookie for our name. I'm going to call it cookie of name. And the expire time will be same. And in my welcome.php file, I'm gonna say that same thing here. If our cookie is set of this setting name, so I'm saying on my welcome.php page, if this cookie of setting name is set, then you should echo here in the h1 tag the name of the person that you set cookie for. Now putting brackets for making it variable. Now saving this one out. Now opening my welcome.php file. I'm login because I have to reset my cookie when the user click on the logout button, which I didn't. So let's open our logout page, and in the logout page we also have to reset our cookie like we did with this session. So for resetting our cookie, first of all I'm going to copy all of these statements from here, and I can easily do that by pasting these statement in here and making the expire time to be minus. So this expire time of minus is going to set our cookie back to the date of 27th, and today is 28th. So this is the way to unset your cookie. And for the value, I'm gonna pass null here to unset, and also null here to unset our cookie. Now this is the same cookie that we set in our login page. Now we are just unsetting it by passing null value and also the negative time. Now saving this one out. Also we have to save these files as well. So if I click on this logout now, my cookie is unset completely and also my session. And if I show you what I got, now in localhost I do have the session ID, but I don't have my cookie. So let's close it and open our Firefox again. And if I try to open my welcome page, now you have to log in. If I add Jazib Akram password here, now I'm on my welcome.php page. If I close this one without logging out, and if I open it again, if I open my welcome.php again, I have to log in because I didn't click on this remember me feature. So giving it my name, password, and adding this remember me cookie, login. Now I am on my login page. So if I close my browser window and open it again, if I browse it without logging in, I can do that. Here is this page of welcome. And if I log out now, I am on my login.php page. So now you have learned how you can add the remember me feature. Now you have learned about how you can add remember me feature and also how you can use this information in the session. And when you are not having the session, how you can remove the error of session by putting it in a set. I don't think this if of cookie is necessary because cookie is some data in the browser that's saved in the browser. Now in the next lecture, we are going to learn about how you can reset your password through email. So see you there. So now for adding forgot password feature, first of all, we have to add here one link that could take our user to the page where he can fill some information to get email that he could use to reset his password later. So in the login.php page, right after this remember feature, I'm gonna define here one link, and this link will have the address to be new file that we are going to create, recover underscore account dot php, and for its text we are gonna call it forgot password, and let's style it by using the span of field info. Okay, saving this one out, refreshing our page. Now we got this forgot password. Let's add one more BR tag before it. So here is BR tag. Looks good now. Let's click on this forgot password. Now we are recover account.php. Now we need to design this page of recover account.php that will take email from the user and send him in email with the token to reset his password. So for that, I'm gonna open my user underscore registration.php page. We have to save this page as with the name of recover underscore account.php, the same one that we asked for here. Now in this page of recover account.php, we have to get rid of couple of things. First of all, we don't have to use this username field and also these password fields and also this token, and we also have to look for these validation. So there will be only one validation left for the email only, and the message to be email required. And let's get rid of this else if, and also this password one, and we don't have to get rid of this check email exist or not because we have to check for it. So I'm gonna make this validation to be not. So in case of the email not found, then you should send the user message to be email not found and send my user back to user underscore registration.php. And in case of email empty field, you should send my user to recover underscore account.php. And then we are going to do something right here, and here let's change it to forgot password for the title of this page, and the action attribute to be recover underscore account.php. We will not need this field of username, also these fields of submit. Now saving this one out. So now we have to define our query in this else. So first of all, we need this global connection DB. Then we don't need this hashed password from here. And then we are going to define our query, and this query will be different as compared to register user because we have to look for the particular record. So I'm gonna delete all of this query because we are going to write the new one. So now we have to check the email that the user is going to enter. So I'm gonna say that select static all the columns from my table of admin underscore panel where the email is the one that user is going to enter. Then you should execute my query, and in the if condition you should fetch all the data of that user, and we can do that easily by using this MySQL underscore fetch underscore array function, in which we are going to pass this execute variable right in the parentheses of our function, and let's equal this one with the new variable of admin. So we use this query and we set that all the columns from a table of admin underscore panel where the email is equal to this email that user is going to enter. Now before doing anything, let's pause this one right here and see what we have the structure for this recover underscore account.php page. So let's refresh it again. Now you can see we only got this field of email. So we are going to get this email from the user, then we are going to compare it with our database, then we are going to run it, and after running this one we are going to fetch all the records of that particular email and save them in the variable of admin, and then we are going to create couple of super global of admin in which we are going to save the user record, and we want to save first of all username that we got in our database, and also we want to fetch our token because that token is gonna help us to reset our user password. So I'm gonna took the username and the token only from the fetch results. Now for the email I'm gonna say that reset password, and then in the body I have to say hi to my user. So we don't have this variable of username and we are getting the user name from this admin super global. So we have to paste it right here because we are getting it from user record after fetching its record. Then in the link, this one is good, PHP course user underscore registration, and then we are going to take our user to the new file with the name of reset underscore password that we are going to make, and the token will be this token that we are going to fetch from the user email by using this function of fetch array. So here is the link to reset your password. Now looks good now. So sender email will be this one, and this email will be the one that the user is going to set, and the success message will be check email for resetting password, and else something went wrong, and in the else something went wrong, try again. Now in the value of this submit button I'm gonna call it submit, saving this one out. Everything looks good. So after executing this query we are gonna take username and token from the database and save them in the super global of admin. Then we are going to write an email in which we are going to use this name from the database, and we are going to say here's a link to reset your password. Then we are going to send user link that will take user to this file of reset underscore password, and this token with the search query parameter will be equal to the token that we are extracting from our database. Then the simple thing that we did earlier, we will send email by using this mail function, then this success message, then this failure message, then this failure message of whole. Now saving this one out, if I back to my page of login.php, click on this forgot password. I'm gonna give it my email, submit. Now you can see I returned back to login.php page and check email for resetting password. So I have to go to my Gmail account for getting my token that I sent from this page. So click on this reset password. Now you can see I got this name and also this token extracting from my database. So here is the link to reset your password. Click on this one. Now I'm on my reset_password page where I can give user fields to reset his password. Now we are going to design this page of reset password, and also there is this problem with its name, and it has 2s and there is no extension of this page that we are going to create. So first of all, let's fix it. Here we got the link, so make it to reset_password.php. Now saving this one out. So now if I click on this forgot password, giving it my email, submit. In my email box, I got email with the correct name of reset_password, and it's giving us tokens, so we need to take care this token to update our password in database. So now we need to define this page of reset_password that will have password field, and it's gonna get our token to update our password in the database that has this token. So let's do it. For that we need two files, user_registration file and activate.php file that we used earlier. So let's close this one from here, and also this login.php page. Let's open our user_registration and activate.php, and this user_registration, I'm gonna save this file as the new file reset_password.php. Now we are going to do the necessary things in this file. So first of all, let's remove these field of email, username, because we will have only password field. We don't need this token field. Confirm field, we need it. And for validation, let's remove the validation for email and username, and let's make it to if user leave any of the field, let's use or, and instead of redirecting our user, we don't have to, we just have to show him message. We don't need this redirection here. We need this password validation. Also this password validation of length to be at least 4. Don't need this redirection, and also we don't need this else if condition because we are not going to check it anything for the email. Now for this else, we don't need any of the code because we are going to define our query. So let's remove all of this code from here. Now let's make this page name to be create new password. Now saving this one out. So now we have to use this activate.php file, and first of all let's use this is set of get token, because in the URL you can see we are having this token, so we can use this token to reset our password. So we have to get it by using super global of get. So we already have the super global of get code in activate.php file when we activate our user by email. So let's copy it from here, and I'm gonna paste all of this submit code inside this super global of get, and then we will have this submit code, and in the else structure we should have one query that could update our password. So we got this is set of token. Also we have to add its ending right at the end. Now saving this one out. Now we need to get rid of these fields that we got here. We don't need this username, email, and let's make this password to be new password, and the value of submit button to be submit, and this time the action attribute will be reset underscore password dot php, and its search query parameter will be token, and that token will be equal to the token from the URL. So I'm gonna add here PHP scope, and inside it I'm gonna echo my token from the URL. Method will be post. Now saving this one out. Now scroll up. So it's time we should add our query here. So this token from the URL is going to help us to establish our query. So for adding our query, we got this query right here. So I'm gonna copy this query from here and paste this query in my reset password else structure. And this time let's make this query update my table of admin underscore panel and set the password field to this new password that we are going to get from this file. And first of all we are going to get this password, then here you can see we are gonna encrypt our password that we are gonna get, and we will save it in our hashed password. So we have to pass this hash password in here. So set my password to be this hash password that I'm gonna get, where token is token from URL. So if this query runs successful, then you should add here a success message that will say that password changed successfully, and redirect my user to login.php page. And else if this query won't run successful, then you should add here a failure message that will say that something went wrong, try again, and send my user to the page of login.php with the failure message. Saving this one out. So everything looks good. So first of all we are going to get our token from the URL. Then in the submit button we are going to couple of have these validation, and in the else structure if we won't have problem with these validation, then we are going to hash our password and update our table of admin panel and set our password to be hash password, and where the token is token from the URL, and execute our query, give user message to be password changed successfully, and in case of failure give message of something went wrong, try again. And here I put action of reset password.php. I have added the search query parameter of token because in case of user violate validation, I don't want him to go back to any page other than this page of reset password and token. So we have to make sure that when user avoid any of the validation, he should be back on the same page of that could help him reset his password. Now saving this one out. If I click on this link now, you can see I got new password and confirm password, and I'm on reset underscore password.php. If I click on the submit button, now you can see we still got the token from the URL and there is nothing has been changed just because we echo our token from URL here. So instead of that, if I change it to the simple one and remove all of this PHP token from URL and search query parameter, it will gonna take from reset underscore password page, and we will be in the middle of nowhere. So we don't want that. So in case if the user violate any of the validation, we want him to stay still on the page of same that we got from the email address. So if I give it wrong password in both fields, submit, we got this error, both password must be same. If I give it password of 123, password should include at least 4 values, and if I give it new password to be 1234567 1234567 submit my password. Now you can see password changed successfully. Now I'm gonna log in using this new password. So using my email address and password to be 1234567 the new password that I made, login. Now I am on my welcome.php page and my password changed successfully. So now in the couple of next lecture I'm gonna teach you how you can use this project code in your own codes or your website to make your own system. So see you there. Hello. In this lecture we are going to merge our project with our HTML5 and CSS3 template. You can pick any of the template that you want. I built this template in my course of the complete HTML5 and CSS3 with 8 website design. And I think that my students will feel more comfortable if they pick the complete HTML5 and CSS3 course template where they build that template, so it will be easy for them. Moreover, I have been using this template from my first course of HTML5 and CSS3. Then I use the same template in my JavaScript course. Then I use the same template in my animations, transforms and 3D design course with CSS for UI UX. You can pick any of the template that you want. It's up to you. Now before adding our template, I can show you the minor change that I made. You can see I have opened this user underscore registration.php file. Here I have added this hyperlink on the text of already a member login, and I put it in the span tag and put a hyperlink using anchor tag that is going to take our user to login.php file if he already signed up. Similarly, in my login.php file, I have did the same thing. I have added one hyperlink on this text of don't have an account, create one. So on the login page, the user will also see a hyperlink in case if he don't have an account. So now let me show you what it's gonna look like in our project. So opening first of all user underscore registration.php file, you can see this text right here. So if I click on this, now I am on my login page. So if I click on this don't have an account, create one, now I'm on my user underscore registration.php file. It's just a hyperlink. So now let me show you the template. So in the folder of user underscore registration, I'm gonna add here a template. So this is our template. So let's see what we got in this template. So you can see we got many pages. So and see what we got here. So I'm gonna open all of these pages in my Komodo. So here is our page of index.php file in which we got some CSS, then we got some HTML, then we have the ending of this page. And in the images folder, I got some images here, and in the CSS folder, I got one CSS file, basic.css, nothing special. Now let me show you the outcome of this project in our browser. So here I have this template folder. Now you can see I'm on my index.php file. So it has very nice header, then it has the sidebar, and in which we place some images, and then it got the very simple footer, and this is the place where we are going to add all the things. Now here I have this page of front page content.php in which I have the couple of heading, couple of paragraphs, div tags, couple of heading, paragraph, image, div tag, again div tag, h1, paragraph, image. And in these pages of trailer1.php, trailer2.php, trailer3.php, I have one heading, then I have the iframe from the YouTube, then we have div, then p, then image at the end. Same in all these pages of trailer1.php, trailer2.php, trailer3.php. So we are going to apply the restriction on these pages of trailer1.php, trailer2.php, and trailer3.php. Now, first of all, by using our Firebug tool of we are gonna find out what we got the ID of this white space. So you can use Chrome developer tool if you want. So you can see that this white space has the div of ID content, and this sidebar has the div of ID side. We will be focused on this div of ID content. So let me show you this div of ID content in my index.php file. Here I got this div of ID content on line 190, and this div is empty at the moment. That's why we don't have any kind of content right here. So we will be add something like here. So if for quick demo I add here one h1 Jazib Akram, saving this one out. If I refresh this page, now you can see we are getting our output right here. I'm gonna break this page into two pages of PHP. The first page will have the starting of this page with the name of header.php, and the second one will be the name of footer.php that will have the ending. And before here we are going to just include our pages. So I'm gonna copy all of this content from the beginning tab of div of ID content. Not gonna copy this slash div, and I'm gonna create here a new file with the name of header.php, and this file will be in our template folder that is inside our user underscore registration folder. Saving this one out. Let's paste our code. Now you can see that this file has the starting of HTML tag and ending with the div of ID content without its closing tag. So now in the file of index.php, I'm gonna copy the rest of the code with the ending of div tag, and I'm gonna create here a new file with the name of footer.php. Now pasting all the codes here, saving this one out. So we got header.php and footer.php, and we break this page of index.php into two files. The reason I'm doing that, I'm gonna include these files at the beginning and ending of our project to have the similar design without messing with our index.php file. Now let's close this header.php file and also this footer.php. And if I show you the output of this front page content.php, this doesn't have any beginning and any ending. It just has some h1p and a couple of images. So opening our page of front page content.php, now you can see this page has some headings, some images, and nothing more special right here. And now if I show you the trailer1.php, this page, you can see there is only heading, one YouTube video, then text, and then image at the last. So now we find out that trailer1.php and this front page content.php doesn't have any kind of CSS and HTML starting and ending. So now we can put these pages in our template, and all we have to do is, if we at the beginning add a PHP tag, and in this PHP tag, if we require our file of header.php that we cut in the form of beginning of index.php. Now saving this one out, If I open our front page content.php now you can see we put this page of front page content with our header.php. So if at the end I include my footer file of this front page content, then you will see that our everything will be in the right order. So adding now at the end footer.php that has the ending of our index.php file. Now saving this one out. If I refresh this again, great. Now we placed our front page content successfully in this template file. So here we got header.php, then at the end we got footer.php, and in the middle we can place any of the file like a sandwich. So we are just putting all of this code as a sandwich in our template. Now if I do the same thing with this trailer1.php and without adding footer, if I show you its output, we got trailer1.php. Now you can see this is what we have without adding footer. So if I add the footer in this page of trailer1.php as well, saving this one out, if I refresh it again, now you can see we placed our this page of trailer1.php into our template by adding its header and footer. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with these pages of trailer 2, 3, 4 and 5. All I have to do is cut this header file and put it in the every single file, and also we need footer. Saving these files out. And if I open my trailer2.php, now you can see we got this page of trailer2.php in our template. So this is all like a sandwich. You are just putting all of your stuff in the two slices of your bread that you cut from this index.php by cutting it in two pieces. So in this page of front page content.php, if I show you this page again, you can see we got heading, then we got our this heading Pirates of Caribbean, then we got image, and after getting the image you can see we got this watch trailer now. So if the user will click on this, then he will be redirected to trailer1.php. Same if the user will click on this watch trailer now, then he will be redirected to trailer2.php. If the user will click all of these files, then he will be redirected to the trailer2, trailer5, trailer4.php. So now we are going to make this page public, and these pages of trailer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be private. And if the user want to reach on these pages, we are going to make him log in, and if he doesn't have a login ID, we will ask him to register and do the process of email verification. So now in the next lecture we are going to merge this template with our project of registration system. So now we are going to add our registration system with that template that I just showed you, and I'm gonna create here a new folder with the name of adding template, and first of all let's copy all of these files of template and paste them in the folder of adding template, so that when you will have the coding exercises you can see the template without registration system and with registration system. So now I'm gonna add all these files of registration, this user underscore registration, welcome.php, this reset password, recover account, login, logout, activate, this include file. I'm gonna cut them from here, and I'm going to paste these files in our adding template here. Let's open our editor now. First of all, let's open our header.php and our footer.php. Now you can see we already got the beginning of HTML tags in our header and the ending of our HTML tag in our footer. So we need to remove the HTML from the login and logout page and registration pages as well to make them fit into this. Because if these pages of login.php have the HTML starting and ending, they will going to break after getting the HTML. So we don't want that. I'm gonna cut all of this HTML code from here and also the ending of our HTML code, just the body and HTML tags only. Saving this one out. Now we need to do same thing with logout.php. We don't have any HTML here, it's good also. So I'm gonna open now activate.php. We don't have any HTML here. Now I'm gonna open user underscore registration. We do have some HTML in our user underscore registration.php. I'm gonna remove body tag, head, HTML and doc type from here. And at the end, also the ending of HTML and body. Saving this one out. Now on the reset underscore password.php, we do got some HTML right here, so I'm gonna cut them from here. And also the ending of HTML and body. Saving this one out. Now for recover account.php, we also have to cut the HTML from this page. The ending as well. Saving this one out. Then we got logout page, login page. We already cut from login page. Then we got activate.php. We don't have anything right here. So now these files doesn't have any kind of HTML opening and ending. So we are good to add our header.php and footer.php with these files to include these files in our project. So I'm gonna close these header and footer files as well. And in my login.php file, I'm gonna add the header.php template right after this db.php in one PHP tag. Now saving this one out, we also have to do footer file at the end. Saving this one out. Now if I browse my login.php file, that is inside my user underscore registration and the adding template folder. Now here I got this folder of adding template. So this is the index.php file. So if I browse my login.php file here, great. Now you can see we merge our project with this template easily. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with our other files as well. So now in my file of recover account.php, I'm gonna add the same thing right here. First of all, the footer at the end. Then we have to add the header at the beginning, right after session, function and db file. Changing it for header. Now opening my reset password file. First of all, adding the footer file at the end. And then I have to add my header file right after my database. Changing it for header.php. Now lastly, for this user underscore registration.php, first of all, let's add footer file at the end. Then we have to add the template header file at the beginning right after our database. Now saving these files out. Now if I show you my user underscore registration file by clicking on this link, Here I got user underscore registration.php. Here we got login.php, and if I can show you my recover account.php file. Now here we got our recover account.php. So back to our login.php file. Let's check whether its PHP code is also working or not. If I click on this login, now you can see we got error and our page has been broken. And after refreshing page again, now we are getting the error. So if I add here some wrong email and wrong password, click on login, our page broken down again, and if I refresh that page again, then I'm getting my session message. So this is just happening because we are outputting our these error message in our session. That's why when we click on the login, all the pages content went in the session and show us this error, and we are getting the information you cannot modify header information. And if I refresh that page again, now we are getting the session message. So we need to tackle down this problem. We can easily do that by putting a simple function of output buffering in the first statement of these files. So first of all, in my login.php file, the PHP tag where we added our session, now I'm gonna add here one function of ob underscore start. So this function is going to take care of these warnings, and it will let us do the things that we want to do. Now saving this one out, if I refresh this page again, if I click on login, now we are good to go. We are not getting any kind of error here. If I add here wrong password, click on login, we are getting our error. So we need to do the same thing with these file as well. So adding ob start function in my recover account.php file, and in my reset password.php file, and in my user underscore registration.php file, so that we won't run off output buffering. Saving this one out, also these files. So if I give it correct email and password, now you can see I successfully made to welcome.php. If I click on this logout now and try to go into welcome.php again, now you can see we are getting the error here. So finally we have added our user registration project with this template. Now on the next lecture, I'm gonna show you how you can add the restriction on these files of trailer1.php, trailer2, trailer3, trailer4 and 5. So hang in there. So remember, when we are making our page private, like we did with this welcome.php, I told you that you can make any type of page private by adding these three statements: session file, function file, and this confirm login function. So now I'm gonna add these restriction on these files of trailer1, trailer2, 3, 4 and 5. So let's close this user underscore registration, recover account, reset password. So I'm gonna copy these statement from here and I'm gonna paste these statement in my trailer1.php, in my trailer2.php, right at the beginning before adding any type of header, then in the trailer3.php, then in my trailer4.php, then in my trailer5.php. So if I show you what we got now, if I open my front page content.php, here we got it right here. If I click on this watch trailer now, I cannot get access of this page of trailer1.php until I log in. Same here and here as well. So I have to log in before accessing these pages of trailer1, trailer2 and trailer3.php. So if I log in now, enter, I am logged in, and if I refresh that page again and click on this watch trailer now, Now I can easily see these trailers. Click on this watch trailer now. I can easily watch this trailer. If I click on this watch trailer now, I can easily see its trailer from this trailer4.php. In the project, in our login.php page, I'm gonna add one thing right here. So let me pause this video first, and I'm gonna say that if the person logins successfully, then you should return that person on front page content.php. Now saving this one out. If I log out now and click on this watch trailer now you can see I have to log in. If I give it my email and password, now I am on my front page content.php, and I can easily see any of the trailer which I want. So here is the thing. In the next lecture, I'm gonna add here a login and logout button. So if the user is in login form, he will see the logout button in our template. And if in case he is logout, he will see the login button right here. So first of all, we need to find out the name of this area by using Mozilla Firebug tool or Chrome developer tool, whatever you want. So now by using this inspector, this one is H3 heading with the latest movie links you can see in the minimized window, and here it's on top, it has comment of side area. So we need to find out whether this side area belong to our header file and or footer file, because we sliced our file of index.php into two files. Let's open our header and footer file, then footer file. So finding out my side area by Control F, you can see we don't have anything right here. So if I find out for my footer file, click, you can see we got side area here, and here is the latest movie links. So I'm gonna define here if condition, and first of all we need PHP scope, and in this PHP scope I'm gonna say if my cookie is set, and you can see in my login.php file, when we authorized our user to login, we made this cookie of setting email. So I'm gonna say that in my footer file, let's close this header file. I'm gonna say that if my cookie of setting email is set, then you should make it to log out. Then we need PHP scope again, and we have to add the ending in this PHP scope, because we want to add the h3 in this PHP scope of condition of if. So now I got this ending of if condition, and else you should make this to login. And again we need PHP scope to put the ending of this else here. Now saving this one out. So I said if my cookie of setting email is set, if the user click on this remember me feature, then you should make it to logout. Otherwise you should make it to login. Now saving this one out, and I can add the anchor tag, and I can make it to logout page so that the user could have the link to logout page. And same on this login, I can add to login. Now saving this one out, opening my login.php file. Now you can see I already set in, I think, my cookie. Now here you can see we set our cookie of setting email. So this is why we are seeing this logout button. So I can go into my front page content.php, and I still have the logout button, because it means that I can browse the whole website if I want. So if I click on this watch trailer now, I can easily access it. And if I click on this logout now you can see I'm on my login page, and this logout is changed into login. So in the next lecture we are going to apply the same kind of thing on this upcoming movies, and I'm gonna say if the user set his cookie, then you should make this upcoming movies 2017 to welcome back, so that the user could know that he is login. So now in this lecture we are going to change this upcoming movies when the user is login. So you can see that this one is front page content.php. So we need to open our front page content. Here you can see we got this upcoming movies 2017 on line 2. So right after the header I'm gonna add here one if condition, and I'm gonna say that inside my PHP scope, and I'm gonna say that if my cookie of setting email is set, then you should make my h1 heading to be welcome back, see upcoming movies 2017, and else you should make it to instead of welcome back you should make it to just upcoming movies 2017. So now in the PHP scope, ending of our else condition, so I said here if my cookie is set, then you should make heading to be welcome back, see upcoming movie 2017, and else you should make to just upcoming movies 2017 for those user who hasn't set our cookie or the users who are not registered to our site. So we need to add the PHP scope at the beginning here as well. So it's good now. If I save this one out and refresh my page again, nothing happened here. If I click on this login button now and give it my ID and password, remember me feature, login, you can see we got welcome back, see upcoming movies 2017. Like I can easily watch trailer now whatever I want. So if I click on this window, close it and open it again and open my front page content.php, you can see we still got welcome back, see upcoming movies 2017, and still I have the logout button so that I could log out. Click on this watch trailer now, I can easily see the trailer of these movies. Now our project has been completely. So in the next lecture I will give you presentation to all of the project so that you could know that our database is working completely fine, our registration system is completely working fine, our login, reset password, email confirmation is also working. So see you in the next lecture for having the last presentation on our project. So now you can see my table of admin underscore panel doesn't have any record in this. So I deleted the only record from here, and now I don't have an account. So if I click on this create one and give it my username Jazib Akram, email jazibakram@gmail.com, password of 1234 1234567, register. I'm getting the error, both password values must be same. So our validation is working fine. I give it password of 1234 register. I'm on my login.php and check email for activation. Now before activating my account, if I try to log in now, login, now you can see account confirmation required, and I'm on my login.php file. So in my Gmail box you can see I got this email, confirm account, here is the link to activate your account. So if I click on this link now, account activated successfully, and I am on my login.php file, and this file has the address of user underscore registration. So we found out that there is one problem in our activate.php file. So in my activate.php file, where we are redirecting our user, we are redirecting him to login.php file. And in our user underscore registration file, we have to find out where we are sending our email. So when the user asks for registration, we are sending him a link to our old folder of user underscore registration. But now our directory has been changed, so we need to update to adding template.php and login. So adding here a folder of adding template. So if the user get the email, we will send him adding template, the new directory of our project that has the template. Now saving this one out, if I delete my record here and do all the process again, username, email, password, check email for activation. I got this email now. If I click on it, now we successfully sent our user to login.php file. And if I give it wrong email and password, login, invalid email and password. And now let's see our forgot password. So here we are going to get our user email. So let's give him first of all wrong email, submit, email not found, and we are on our user underscore register.php. So if I click on this forgot password now, and before giving him a true email, we also have to change the directory of this recover account.php where we are sending our user an email, so that it won't go to the old directory. So here is the link. So I'm gonna add here adding template folder, then we will send our user to reset underscore password.php. Now saving this one out, if I give it my email now, but before doing that, let's refresh our page to load our PHP. Click on this email, correct, submit, check email for resetting password, and I'm on my login.php page. So here I got reset password email. I can click on this email now, and it has the new directory of adding template. Click on this one. Now I can choose new password. If I give it wrong password here, submit, our validation are working fine, and we still got the reset token because of in the reset password file where we added this reset underscore password.php, and we made this token to the echo token from URL. So if I give it password of 33 less than 4, submit, password should include at least 4 values. We are still on that page. If I give it my new password to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, new password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, submit, password changed successfully. If I log in now, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, wrong password, remember me, login, invalid email password, and we still got this login button here. If I give it my right email and password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, remember me, login, now we are on our front page content. Welcome back, see upcoming movies 2017, and I can easily watch the trailer of the movies without any further problem. So here I got this logout button now. So I hope you enjoyed watching this trailer with me. So if I click on this logout now I'm on my login.php file, and if I try to watch trailer again, I cannot do that. So this is called testing your project, and it's very important because you have to be careful while you change your directory. Like I changed this directory of heading template, and when I was getting the email, I was sending my user to the whole other directory, which I don't want. So it's always a good idea to test your project before calling it complete. So now we also tested our project and we watched one Fast and Furious trailer together. So it's time we should say goodbye to this course, and I will see you in the upcoming courses of mine. And you can also search me on Google and follow me on YouTube, and you can also see my other courses that will also give you some hands-on skills in each of the courses. So see you around, and have a great day.